All right, welcome to the live watch along. Virgil Ortiz, SERHII Bohachuk, live from the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Hope you're all doing well on this beautiful Sunday morning. Still here in Australia, I'm not sure what it is all over the world, and really looking forward to today's fight. So Virgil Ortiz, 21-0. 21 KOs up against SERHII Bohachuk, 24-1 with 23 KOs. So good timing. We've just got to the end of the Gabriela Fundora and Daniela Asensio fight for the IBF World Flyweight title. It looks like Fundora has got the job done. I haven't had a chance to watch any of the card yet. I've just been pretty busy this morning. But I'm looking at the results now. So it looks like I'm not sure we've still got a few fights to go. Yeah, okay. Maybe there's only the one fight to go. I'm not sure. The box rec hasn't been updated, though. So they're just announcing the decision at the moment. Yep, still the IBF flyweight title. Gabriela Fundora. What a boxing family that is. All right, let me know some of the results. Thanks for everyone that's tuned. We've got a few that are in there. There's Andy in the chat. How are you there, Andy? Thanks for joining in the live watch along. Remember, this is not a live stream. This is a live watch along. We always get people on there and they dislike this stream, and they say or send bad messages, all that sort of stuff, guys. It's if you know your boxing on social or on YouTube and the streaming services, you cannot stream the fight or show the fight anyway. So there is Samson Lukovic in there with Gabriela Fundora. She improves to 13-0. I'm not quite sure how many knockouts she's had. 6 KOs she's had. All right, and Daniela Asensio drops to 16-3 with 2 knockouts. So again, I didn't see much of the fight at all. Now, as we get into the main fights here, guys, make sure if you've got any comments, questions, topics, whatever you want to bring up, now's the time. Put it in the chat. There's not a lot in there at the moment, but I'm sure we'll get a few as the morning goes on. Again, thanks to Andy in the chat there. Yep, like, subscribe, share, all that sort of stuff. Now, I think we're only about 10 people short of being up to 1,500, and you've got to set little goals as you go with when you have a YouTube channel. You just can't, I know some channels do, but sometimes you've just got to get your channel started, and it takes ages to build up. We're almost at 1,500. And then, of course, the next goal after that is 2,000 subscribers. I can't believe we're up to 1,500 already. I really appreciate everyone that tunes into all the shows. Speaking of the shows, I hope you're enjoying Walking Boxing at the moment. If you haven't seen it, this is just me walking of a morning, walking my dog Neil, my little English bulldog. We go for probably an hour and a half walk every day, and it's just me, just with whatever's on my mind. Today I was talking about the Olympic fallout, a little bit. Of course, the two fighters of controversy have both won gold medals. I'll let you guys decide that. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. So we've got two more fights and then the main event. Okay. I was a little bit worried that we didn't have many to go. So I've got Canelo Sims Jr., Jonathan Romero, Charles Conwell, and Kieran Gray. And then into Virgil Ortiz Jr. and SERHII Bohachuk. There's Damien Rochester in the chat. How are you, mate? Just binge watched all your last week's content. Thanks, mate. I was just saying, yeah, look, it's just something a little bit different. It's just me, as I said, walking my dog, and I'm just whatever's on either my mind that day or whatever's in the news. What did you think of the break dancer? What was her name? Raygun. I had a little bit of a say in that on today's Walking Boxing. A little bit of preview of this fight and the little mini tournament we've got going on at 154. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun. Of course, talking boxing on a Monday night. All right, Glad you're enjoying it there, Damien. All right, someone said Tszyu supposed to be ringside for the Bohachuk of Virgil Ortiz fight. If so, is it possibly Tim versus winner of this next? I did see that myself, Andy, that Tim was going to be ringside. I know he's training in Las Vegas at the moment, so it probably it makes sense that he goes down the road and watches the fight. So I would probably guess 100% he'll be there, Andy. Maybe they'll get him in the ring after the fight. Who knows? Of course, he's got the Murtazaliev fight coming up, and we probably shouldn't, or he shouldn't, probably sleep on that one. It's going to be a very, very tough fight. I think he gets past that one. And maybe Terence Crawford, he's still got this this Canelo Alvarez. Is it a fantasy or whatever you might want to call it? This thing about fighting Canelo. You would think, though, that if it doesn't happen, you would think that maybe, and he only fights once a year, don't forget, so maybe the winner of this fight does fight the winner of Tim and Murtazaliev, and then the winner of that gets Crawford, maybe August, September next year. So, plenty of big things happening anyway, Andy. But I'd say he will be there. Obviously, he's training in Vegas. Just makes sense that he goes, doesn't it? Who do you think wins out of Ortiz, Bohachuk? Love the show. Thanks, Brendan. Look, I'm going to back Ortiz, but not with a lot of confidence. I think that if an upset's going to occur, this fight is it. I think that Bohachuk we saw what he did against Brian Mendoza, really showed his wares in that fight. I think that he'll be okay. I just think that I'm just looking at Damien's comment there. I just think if Virgil Ortiz is the fighter that we all think that he is, he should get past Bohachuk. Now, Bohachuk is a very, very good fighter. Again, I'll say it. I still see some limitations there, so I'm going to back Virgil Ortiz. And how good a fight would that be? Would be Ortiz and Tszyu, and then the winner fighting Crawford. And Costa wasn't happy that Tim's fighting Murtazaliev, being a Russian, of course. I wonder how he'll be fighting if he has to fight Bohachuk next, the Ukrainian. So, all right, I'll put that on the screen there. The gold medalist has no fear, definitely balls of steel. Yes. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, we don't want to get too stuck into it, I suppose. But it has to be discussed. I've had my say numerous times this week on the whole thing. I know we've got bigger problems out there when you've got breakdancing at the Olympic Games, but my thing is with the boxing is it going to be axed from 2028? I touched on that today. To think that the Olympic boxing has been in the games for 128 years, and now it's going to be axed. I just can't get my head around it. Anthony, how you going there, mate? Love walking boxing. Check in on each day for updates, particularly with the local content. Yeah, thanks, Anthony. If you've got anything you want me to talk about, let me know. But I normally just either the night before or the morning of, I'll just check and see what's going on. Sometimes I'll have a little bit in my mind of what I think I'm going to discuss. There's always never a dull moment in boxing, is there? So there's always something to talk about. But I just have a bit of a look at what's going on. And, I mean, it's only, a 15-minute talk every day. So, there's always something to talk about. But I'm glad you like it, mate. And as I said, it just gives me something to do on my walk. And Neil doesn't seem to mind either. So, all right, Damien, is there any business class for the boxing deep dive tours at economy overseas? Was the worst experience of my life. I don't have a coccyx bone or knees anymore. Ha ha. Yeah, well, I think if we go, mate, it's up to you. If you happen to come on one of the tours, if you want to fly business class, then go for it. You can always get good business class fares for flights if you look carefully. You might have to take a stop in New Zealand or the Philippines or Indonesia or wherever that might be, but you can always get a pretty good price on business class seats. So, mate, if when we go, I'll let you know. And if you want to come, then by all means, book yourself business. But you'll be looking at least $6 or $7 I would probably think. So if you want to do that, go for it. All right. You are right though, Damien. It's a big trip, isn't it? When you sit in economy, and we've all done it many, many times, whether it's internal or international long haul. But I always try, and if I get on in the economy section, Damien, as soon as I book, I'm straight into the exit row seats. You might pay an extra couple of $100 for the seats, but it is the best money you'll ever spend. And even premium economy, you can get really good fares for premium economy. It might be double the amount of economy, but you get wider seats, more leg room, and rather than being, what are the economy seats? 4, I think they go 3, 4, 3. I think these go 2, 3, 2. So you get a little bit extra room, and yeah, and I have done it a couple of times, and it's not bad at all. All right, there's Jules HOA, mate. Morning all. This is a good fight for a non-pay-per-view option. It really is, Jules. And I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't quite sure whether this fight would really be of interest to a lot of fans out there that, I mean, it's free, so I know a lot of people are going to watch it, but I wasn't quite sure whether people wanted to actually do a watch along. Had a few people message me in the what do they call it? The DMs. And so I thought, let's do it. Well, I'm going to be watching the fight anyway, so I might as well do it with you fans out there. All right, Julian, Bud versus Madrimov opinion. I thought Bud won myself. I thought Terence Crawford won the fight. I won't say clearly, Julian, but I thought he did enough. Look, by no means was it convincing. Make no mistake about that. I just thought Madrimov, for the first half of the fight, I know he was frustrated by Terence Crawford, who refused to lead. He was countering the whole time. I just don't think he did anything in the first 6 rounds to really give the judges anything to think about. And I know there's the saying that you've got to take it from the champion. I don't really believe in that. I know in some instances that might be right, but are you expecting a fighter to change their whole style just because they have to take the belt? Do we want, Terence Crawford's not the type of guy that goes after opponents. That's just him. So what is he all of a sudden got to change and flip his style on its head just so that he takes the belt? I don't subscribe to that. And especially in Terence Crawford's case, I mean, he's the A side by a mile. Madrimov's more the C or D side, isn't he? But I thought it was a bit of a non-event for the first 6 rounds. I thought that Crawford did probably win 5 of the 6 rounds just because the odd little well-placed punch here or there. Madrimov didn't do anything, didn't really land a punch, I didn't think, for the first 6 rounds. I know we come on a little bit later in the fight, but you got to do more. If you're gonna unseat a champion like Crawford, even though he was a challenger, you've got to do more. And yes, he was awkward, but I just don't think he got out of sort of second gear for the whole fight. Madrimov, he really struggled. Not to say that Crawford did anything that was legacy inspiring either, but I just think he did enough. So I had it probably 7 rounds to 5. It could have been 8-4 in my mind, Julian. I know a lot of people out there saying that Madrimov won, but I just don't see it. I know there was a few people that said maybe it was a draw, but I still can't see how you would have seen that as a win for Madrimov. But anyway, all right, we'll move on. Andy, was Spence likely out? Yes, I did see that. Leaves opening for Fundora Jamel. Hopefully PBC looking after PBC fighters. Of course they do. Has it been 100% confirmed though, Andy? I did hear and read that Spence may be out, but as far as I know, he hasn't been 100% ruled out just yet. So I'm just going to wait on that. But if that is the case, well, it does make a lot of sense, doesn't it, that Jamel would be the fight for Fundora. And then, geez, what would that be? We've got Crawford and Madrimov last week. We've got Bohachuk and Ortiz today. We've got Tszyu and Murtazaliyov. And then to have Fundora and Jamel Charlo as well. Talk about the hottest division in boxing. It'll be great. But look, I love that fight, to be honest, Andy. I was going to say I prefer it over the Spence fight anyway, but geez, Spence and Jamel, they're both so inactive. I'm just thinking style-wise. I think I would back probably Charlo to beat Fundora, if I'm being honest, and maybe Spence as well. I think I did say that in my video this morning. All right, you mentioned the other morning that Macedon Ranges drops 5 degrees as the road dips down. Curious how you go there in summer. Is it any cooler there too when compared to outside the ranges? Yeah, well, it's not like the road dips down. I think it technically goes up double G because you've got Macedon and then you've got Mount Macedon. That's where I live. So, but the summer's actually pretty good. I mean, if say Melbourne is, in the middle of summer, say, I don't know, 35 degrees, Mount Macedon might be 29 or 30. So it's actually pretty good. In summer, it's quite good. Winter though, not so good. And we do get snow where we live. So, but I love it. It's great. We get the fire cracking, and while I like the summer, I'm not a fan of being out in the heat, if that makes sense. I like it for our business and what it brings and everything else, but give me a cool day with the fire any day. So we love it where we live. Andy, Tim versus Murtazalyov is warranted because it's Tim's second chance at another world title. I agree, mate. I agree. I full credit to both guys. I think, firstly, Murtazalyov for taking the challenge of Tim when he probably didn't have to, and also Tim for jumping straight back into a massive fight like this. I know he wants that belt. And you've got to remember, you've got to have a belt these days to have hand, as they say. And we saw when Tim lost those belts, or lost his WBO belt and then the right to the WBC belt, we just saw how quickly he was out of the picture. So I'm just gathering it would have been, hey, let's just take whatever chance we can to get back amongst it, because if you haven't got a belt, then it's like you don't matter. And especially a dangerous fighter like Tim Tszyu. You would think that those other elite fighters in the division really wouldn't want a piece of Tim if they didn't really have to. If belt's on the line, that's a different story. But would they want to fight him just for the sake of fighting him? I don't see it. So that's why again, credit to Tim for jumping straight into a fight of this magnitude, but also Murtazalyov for actually giving Tim a shot at the IBF belt. And the funny thing is that I'm not sure whether Tim was really... no, I was just going to say he wasn't ranked that high, but I think he was. I think he might have been ranked... Was it the IBF where the first two rankings were vacant? I don't even know how you can have vacant rankings, but I think the first two were vacant, and then I think... Was it Josh Kelly might have been Lubin, or one of them anyway. It might have been Lubin was 3 and Tim was 4. So, and of course now they've elevated him to mandatory, so it all works out for everyone in the end. All right, Double G. Those guys over at Ring IQ Boxing Channel got some funny names for the guys at 154. Tim Kazoo. That was Charlo named him. That didn't he? Ericsson Lubricant. Back rub Murtazalyov. I like it. What is it called? Ring IQ. I'll have to check that out. I haven't. Hang on. I haven't got YouTube on here at the moment, but I'll check that out, mate. Thanks for that. All right, Lyndon, BDD Tours, policy on suitcases with wheels. All right, if you come on the tour and you've got a suitcase with wheels, stiff, it's going underneath. No, it's not. I'm only joking. Well, I've got to be honest. I'm going over in, 3 weeks' time. I've just bought myself a new bag, and it's a carry-on, and it has wheels. Now, I'm not saying I'm for it there, Jules. I'm just saying... if it's in play, then I'm gonna utilize the rules as they are, but I still stand by if it has wheels, it goes underneath the plane. But yep. But I've got to admit, yeah, I'm gonna be taking my carry-on baggage with wheels on the plane this time. It's a really good bag actually. It wasn't cheap, but I thought I travel a fair bit. I'm gonna lash out. I'm gonna buy a nice leather one. It's one of those ones that you unzip it and it completely lies flat, and you can put actual shirts or jackets or pants, you can lay them flat, and then it all folds up around the bag, if that makes sense. So you're not sort of rolling up. Not that I wear suits, by the way. I'm strictly a tracksuit and hoodie type of guy, but when you might go to the fights, you might wear a shirt, whatever. But so yeah, you can actually lay them flat and then zip up the bag, and it sort of goes around the bag, if that makes sense. So they're not all scrunched. But anyway, it's set me back a few bucks, but I can't wait to get it. Hopefully I'll get it before I go. But to answer your question, Jules, I don't agree with it, but if you come along and it's got wheels, you can put it on, because that's the rules in place at the moment. All right, we'd rather pay that money than do that bullshit again. Yeah, just a couple $100, Damien. It's well worth it, I'm telling you. The problem is that everyone else is on the same thing these days, so you've got to get in early. All right, actually, we're in round number 1, by the way. I should have mentioned that. Sims Jr. and Romero, 1 of 10. So they haven't updated the card yet. Oh, have they? So we've had Jenna Creason with a win over Kelsey Wickstrom. We've had Joel Iriarte over with a first-round knockout of Miguel Ortiz. We've had Eric Priest with a 10-round decision over Luca Lozo. Don't know what's happened with the other fights, but we've got this one, Sims Jr. and Romero. And what was the other one I said? Charles Conwell and Chiari Gray. And then we're into the main event. So it started off in pretty good pace here, by the way. And I think it's Sims just wailing away at the moment. Now, what's Sims? He is 20 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. Jonathan, who is it? Jonathan Romero is 35-4. All right. Blank Man, what time are we expecting you to show the fights? Don't be a Debbie now. I can't show the fight. Sorry, Blank Man. I'll commentate it. I'll give you all the blow-by-blow action. Well, if you've got DAZN, it's free. So jump on. You might be able to get a free, don't they give you a free subscription these days where you've got first 30 days free or first 14 days? Just do that and you can watch it for free, Blank Man. You don't need me. And stop calling me Debbie. I'm just joking. My missus and daughter, unimpressed, wanted to go fishing, but I stood my ground. Well, it's Sunday, Andy. It's fight day. It's fight day, and it just seems to happen a lot lately. But the joys of being a boxing fan. I love it here in Australia. I know it's Saturday night in most parts of the world, but I love Sundays, being able to just jump on here and watch the fights, and then the football's on a bit later. Oh, here we go. Speaking of football, what is going on with Essendon and Carlton? I seriously hope you guys win today and not like us pack of dickheads. Now, Damien, I've got a confession to make. As bad as Carlton's going at the moment, last night, I couldn't help myself. I was jumping around the room like a lunatic last night. I was actually pretty embarrassed looking back at it. I thought, surely not. They cannot lose to the Gold Coast Suns, who haven't won outside of the home ground for, 2 years, 17 or 18 games, whatever it was. It had to be Essendon. Look, if it hasn't been Essendon, it would have been Carlton, although we think we beat them a little bit earlier in the year. But, mate, I felt for you. I really, as much as I took great pleasure in it and couldn't contain my excitement when the Big Mac kicked it after the siren. I actually thought he'd missed at the start. I thought he'd gone slightly right. But having said that, it happened to Carlton last week. We had a chance to win and we blew it. That's just the Carlton way. But Essendon and Carlton, mate, I've just got a feeling that we've been cursed by the footy gods. We've had way too much success, and this is the revenge on Essendon and Carlton, because if anyone's going to get done after the siren or something happens at, like Carlton last week, Mitch McGovern, he's only got to kick it through from 40 metres out, pretty much straight in front, and he puts it out on the full. I mean, yeah, I think we're cursed. I remember, though, Damien, I was at the Essendon-Carlton game back in 1993 when it was the draw and Kernahan marked inside 50. All he had to do was score. He didn't even need to kick a goal, and he kicked it out on the full. I was sitting right behind that kick, and I was pissed. I know we'll get back to boxing in a moment, guys, but I remember, I think they said last night, the last three years in a row, Essendon have lost after the siren. They reckon it hadn't been done for a while. Well, I can tell you exactly when it was done, Damien. It was done in 2000, 2001, and 2002. Because Carlton, and it was Carlton. We lost to Port Adelaide in Adelaide in 2000. We were 7 points up with a minute to play, and they kicked 2 goals in the last minute. So there you go. 2001, we led from the first bounce to the final siren against Hawthorn. Ben Dixon marked with about 5 seconds to go in the game. We had led from start to finish. He kicked the goal after the siren. Then in 2002, we came from 38 points down at three-quarter time against Geelong and hit the front with 38 seconds to go. And what do? They get a clearance straight out of the centre and they kick a goal after the siren. Now, a little side note on that, Damien. I worked at Carlton in 2008 as the boxing coach down there. Simon Wiggins, who was on the mark that day, who said he touched it and it was disallowed. This day and age with the technology, you would see it. 100% told me that he touched that ball. So that made it even worse for me. So, as I said, mate, I don't know what's going on with Essendon and Carlton. The footy gods hate us at the moment. So, anyway, there's Brendan. I missed that, mate. Sorry, what's to go with Charlo? Is he still in the mix at 154? Love to see Tim finish him. Well, he said he's back, Brendan, but no date being set, no opponent being talked about, nothing like that. So, look, I think he'll be back at some stage, but I've just got a feeling he might come back a little bit like his brother has and maybe just slowly just fizzle out. Maybe like a Keith Thurman did. Just they sort of come back and maybe have a fight, and then you just don't see them again. I just think their heart's not in it anymore. They are strange cats, let's face it. But yeah, I'm just not sure he's in it mentally anymore, mate. End of round number 2 of Sims versus Romero. I've got no idea who's winning the fight. It looks like from me that just from what I'm looking at the moment that Sims has won the first 2 rounds, but Romero finishes around. Okay. G'day, Adam. How you going, mate? Same to you, legend. Thanks for joining in the chat. And again, anything you want to talk about, bring it up. Damien, summer is awesome here. So is the winter. Everyone has a fireplace here. So you're in Gisborne, I think, aren't you, Damien? So that's a beautiful part of the world. I'm there every Friday. I'm there for brunch. I go down and visit one of the cafes. Just our weekly sort of get out of the house, and it's a beautiful part of the world in Gisborne as well. I don't really like it sometimes on weekends, though. You go there and they get a lot of the traffic, and the place is just not built for the amount of traffic going through it, and it's just a nightmare through that centre of town. But some awesome cafes there, Damien. All right, full disclosure, says Jules. I also just bought a new suitcase, and it has wheels, and it's going carry on. Well, mate, same as me. I don't like it, but if you can't beat them, you got to join them, and I'm going to take my bag on the plane. And the only thing I don't like, Jules, is when you get on there, and especially if you're bored last. I don't like getting on the plane too early and sitting there, and I always get aisle seats. So I don't want to get on too early because people are wanting to get over me and whatever else. So I always get on last, and it's just that thing if you can't get the overhead space, and people, they take 2 or 3 bags and they pack them up there, or they might put their friggin' shoes or something up there, and so you can't get your bag, and yeah, it's not good. I don't like the overhead compartment. I think if it's your thing above you, then no one puts, and this is a little known thing, by the way. I'm a little bit of a frequent traveler, as you probably know, but I always thought that the bins directly above your seat were for you and your other people sitting with you. So if 3 is in a row, plenty of room for 3, if not 4 bags up top. But I've since found out that that's not the case. The bins are the bins, and you put them wherever you can get them. So I sometimes see families travel and they've got all these different bags. They put them above them and they put them above yours, and I don't like it. So it's not good. I remember I actually flew first class internally in the US once, and I had 1A. I had the best seat in the house. So actually it might have been 1B because I was on the aisle. Round 3 here, by the way, guys, halfway through. I'll keep you updated. This is Sims and Romero. And I sat right at the front of the plane. So 1B, the aisle seat. In my opinion, the best seat on the plane. Got on last thinking, well, I'm flying first class. I'll just jump on whenever I want. I'll just, I'm surely there's room for me up top. I'm first class, remember? Aren't we above everyone else? Well, no. I got on there and there was no room above. And I said to the stewardess, well, what's the go? I'm first class. I expected I've got up there. Can you move? She said, nah, sorry, can't help you. But, sir, there is a little bit of room down further. I'll give me your bag and I'll put it down further, and you can get it after we land. Well, I reckon I was in the second last row on the plane. So I had to it's funny looking back at it. I had to get off the plane, first off the plane, by the way, being in the best seat on the plane, 1B, on the aisle at the front left-hand corner of the plane, right next to the door. And I got up and I had to wait literally for every single person to get off the plane. And then I had to walk all the way down the back of the plane to get my bag. And you think I was pissed. Now, I don't normally play the first class hand, but I can assure you on that day, I said to the flight attendant, now, come on, surely we've got to do better than this. You're flying first class. And anyway, but I don't normally like those type of people, but I've got to admit that day I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all. Anyway, all right, let's move. I was thinking deep dive when making the purchase. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. But if you want to come on a tour, it's fully within the rules, and feel free to bring your carry-on, mate. Go for it. All right, are you just going to see what events are coming up next year to pick the best ones to do this tour? I am, mate. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, this year I probably stuffed up a bit. I think I've said a few times that the flights are on sale at the start of the year. They had a big Qantas sale, and I bought 3 tickets actually for the Tim fight, the September fight coming up, and then for a family holiday at the end of the year. And I just got them because they were on special. And in this instance here, I was a little bit unsure whether we'd even have a fight to go to. Of course, we do. It's Canelo and Berlanga. But I'm gonna do that, mate. I'm actually gonna wait. No matter what happens, I'm gonna wait till the best fights come up, and then I'm gonna book. So I'll give you plenty of notice. I would say that it could be Canelo in May. I would love to get over there a little bit earlier this time. Normally I go twice a year and I go for 2 weeks. Next year I'm going to go 3 times, but only go for 1 week. So just keep that in mind if you're coming. We will probably leave on the Monday of fight week. Could even be Sunday, but worst case, it would be the Monday of fight week. We would leave the States on the Sunday after the fight. We'd be home on the Tuesday. All right, so you're going to be home for 7 to 8. Be away for 7 to 8 days. So it's going to be in and out. We go on the Monday. We'll hit Vegas on the Monday night if it is Vegas. On the Monday night, we'll be home Tuesday morning the following week when we come back. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to come. I have said you're looking at about $5,000. I'm thinking don't take that as gospel because airfares and flight tickets and accommodation could change. But keep in mind it would be about $5,000 plus spending money. Okay, so that $5,000 would include your economy airfare from one of the eastern states, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, from Perth or wherever. I don't know what that is. I'm just quoting prices from the East Coast. That would include your week's accommodation and your fight ticket. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be sitting ringside. That's up to you. If you want to get a ringside seat, that's fine. But you'll be looking for anywhere up to $700, $800, $900 for Canelo or one of those types of guys. So, as I said, about $5,000 plus you're spending money if you're looking to budget to go. And I'm just going to test the waters. Be nothing flash for starters. It'll just be let's go. See what we can do. We'll take you on the tour of the gyms, press conference. I'm not sure you can get in the press conference. The weigh-in, the open workouts. Get to Mayweather's gym, and there's a few other gyms there anyway. As I said, do the tour completely. Do what you want when we're there. I'm just saying this is the itinerary. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not. That's sort of what I'm offering. I'll let you know where all the best places are to go. As I said, we'll go to the gyms and I'll get you organised with fight week. But there's no obligations to do anything. It's just if you want to go, and I'm assuming most of you will probably go alone or maybe with a mate. It's just to have other people to go with, so you're not going and experience it all yourself. So I'll put the full details out there once we get a fight early in 2025. Hey, Batman, how you going there, mate? I saw you on the round table yesterday. Thanks for, Friday it was. Yeah, Friday. Like your comments too, mate. I see you're getting into it with someone on there. I agree with everything you said, by the way. I know you know what you're talking about, and that's probably the downside is sometimes when you're on those and in there with chats, you get some peanuts who just carry on and half the time don't know what they're talking about. So, all right, I thought he missed 2. I've had enough. I think you guys will just make it into the finals. Yep. I think we'll scrape in, mate. Got to win today, though, Damien. Julian, the Russian fighters don't play possum like American fighters. Tim can refocus on this tough IBF champ. Is this the fight in Australia at Linden? It's not in Australia, Julian, so I'm just reading that again. I've just had my lovely wife drop me in something to eat that I'll have a bit of a peck at as we go. What I will do, though, is have a sip of coffee. That's what I desperately need. All right. So, what's that? The Russian fighters don't play possum like the American fighters. Yep. That's for sure, Julian. Tim can refocus on this tough IBF champ. No, that doesn't like the fight will be in Australia, Julian. I would say it's going to be in the States or maybe on a Riyadh season card. Who knows? But I don't think it's going to be in Australia. I think they would like it to be, but I respect the fact that Murtazaliyov has said that, I'm the champion and no, I'm not going to be fighting in Australia. So I get that, but the odds are, Julian, it will be in the States if I had to make a prediction. What's that there? VERGIL via KO for me too. Full props if Bohachuk proves me wrong. Should be fun while it lasts. Well, as I said at the start, 20 21-0 with 21 KOs, Ortiz, and 20, is it 24? 24-1 with 23 KOs for Bohachuk. So, but strangely enough, I think this could go the distance. When you get two really evenly matched fighters like that, or like this, sometimes they just mesh perfectly, and you get a fight that goes the distance. We'll see. Stoppage either way, surely not going the distance yet. Well, we'll see. Hell no, it's not built for the traffic back in the 90s and early 2000s. Was amazing here. That's Gisborne in Victoria. It's a beautiful little town. Paul Linden seems even first class has flaws. Yeah, I knew I'd cop that. Yeah, so disclosure, yes, I have flown or business class internationally, but also first class, and yeah, I'm a little bit embarrassed to say, Andy. That's not normally me, because it's funny, because if I do fly first class or business class, whatever it might be, I'm always sitting beside guys or girls in their suits and their flash pants and on their little laptops and feeling important and everything else, and they've got to pick up the phone and make a few phone calls just so we know how important they are before we take off. They couldn't do it in the lounge before we go. They've got to be on the phone while we're sitting there waiting to take off. And I've always thought, what a wanker. I always get on there and I've just got bloody board shorts on and a t-shirt, or just tracksuit pants and a hoodie or something. I always get the second glance of, what are you doing here? But I always try and keep it real anyway, Andy. But yeah, I must admit, I did lose myself with that. It'd been a long trip and I wasn't happy. I had to wait, and it's hard enough waiting for everyone, even when you're down the back in economy, let alone waiting at the front. And I've just got to sit there and wait. But I was a little bit embarrassed there, Andy, if I'm being honest. G'day, Adam. How you going, mate? No dramas at all. I haven't done a lot of commentary yet. Just an update. We're in round number 5. Sims Jr. and Romero. And it looks for me, Sims Jr. doing the job at the moment. And there is Volley. How are you there, Volley? Mexico has entered the chat. G'day to you. Sorry, Andy. Yeah, great to have you along there, Volley. Great to have everyone along. I'll have another sip of my coffee here. But yeah, Andy, it's small. Well, I say small world problems or third world problem, whatever it is. First world problems. I think that's what they say. Yeah, a little bit embarrassed about it, Andy, but I've become one of those wankers I despise. Just as I'm talking there, guys, forgive me if I have something to eat. A bit of banana. It's been a bit more. And I got up this morning. I went for my walk. I just had a little fighter that do a little bit of work with Charlie Thompson here in the Macedon Ranges. So he comes down, and good little fellow, and got some talent too. For such a the fight's over, by the way, and the corner has called it off. Looks like Romero has had enough. So Sims Jr. gets the win. I'm not quite sure what happened there. What's that, Julian? Have you met Floyd Mayweather? And what's he like? Very, very briefly and passing, Julian. I haven't actually met him. I've shaken his hand. Didn't even get a photo with him. He was sort of on the rush through. From what I've heard, bit of hit and miss there, Julian. Some people that have met him said he's a really nice, cool, laid-back guy. Others said he's an arrogant little shit. So I don't know. I've met the late Roger Mayweather. He's his uncle, of course, and former trainer. He was a great guy. Of course, he was the one that said that I know shit about boxing. He was awesome. Saw him in the food court. It's amazing this is the other thing I'll say when you go over there. It's amazing who you run into. Now, I've run in, Roger Mayweather, I was waiting to get some crepes or pancakes or something in one of the food court things at the MGM Grand, and he was there getting a coffee or something, got a photo with him. He was great. I walked past Sugar Ray Leonard on the way to something one day, so I got a photo with him. Mike Tyson came through the food court at the MGM when I was sitting there one day having something to eat. Who else was there? So many. I was in a coffee shop I think I've told these stories heaps of times, but I'm going to say it again just because I love beating my chest a bit. I was in a bakery getting a coffee and a donut, and who's beside me? Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. getting a coffee as well and a donut. He's only a small little fellow. He was in really good nick. There wasn't much of him, He wasn't overly happy getting a photo because he was obviously there getting a coffee and thought he was away from all those pesky boxing fans, but that didn't worry me. I saw Thomas Hearns at the Burger King at the LA airport, got a photo with him. So you just never know who you run into. I guarantee that if you're there, the people that you run into in the foyer, at the coffee shop, at the pool, you name it, they are everywhere. You might be in a Starbucks getting a coffee, and beside you might be someone of note. It's an amazing time to be over there. Okay, get my phone out the road there. On Ortiz, have we seen enough of him at 154 to know for sure he can be a KO artist at the pointy end of this division? Lawson and Dalame, both welterweights, lots of runs on the board. Yeah, I'm with you. He hasn't technically made 154. Oh, sorry, he made it yesterday, of course, for this fight. Before that, hadn't made 154. And those two fights he had were just blowout first-round knockouts. So I think we're going to get a real test today to see what he's got. But to answer your question, no, I don't think we've seen enough of him at 154 to know for sure that he's a KO artist that we all think he is. And I've got a feeling if he wins today, I think I did say he might be able to chop Bohachuk down, but last night I watched a little bit on YouTube again of Bohachuk. I saw him obviously live against Mendoza, and I've seen bits and pieces of a few other of his fights. But I was watching him last night and I thought, yeah, I'm not sure Ortiz is going to be able to get him out of there. If he's going to beat Bohachuk, he's going to have to do it over 12 rounds. So that poses the question of a guy that's fought, 2 rounds in 2 years. If it goes into the 6th, 7th, 8th round, what are we going to see from Ortiz? Sorry to do this to you, guys. It's going to be a long day, but you have to excuse me if I'm eating as I'm talking. Keep the comments coming, though. What do we got there? Tim's the only one in the division that gives Crawford a run for his money. I tend to agree, Jules. I think if VERGIL Ortiz looks good today and carries the weight okay, I think he potentially could do okay against Crawford. But I'm with you. I think Tim's the only legitimate guy. He has all the tools. Tim has great boxing skills, great endurance. He's got power. More of a accumulation type of puncher, though, is Tim, rather than a one-punch knockout guy. But he has it's hard to explain. He has the nous, and I'll call it the ring IQ. That's probably what I'm trying to get at. He has the ring IQ to adapt better to Crawford's tactics than what we saw from Madrimov last week. I was really disappointed that Madrimov didn't really show us anything to change game plans. He just went with the same style the whole way. I think it was just a case of Crawford just being with a lot of ring rust, couldn't really pull the trigger that much, or the way we've seen him in the past. And I think that's what made Madrimov maybe look a little bit better than maybe what he is. But I'm with you there, mate. I think Tim is the guy. All right, what do we got? Oh, Adam, okay. Your other account is the authorised seller. Yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. I see all your comments. And yes, Neil says good day. He's currently outside in the sun at the moment. He loves it. He's actually, I think I said on here before, mate, he's actually a rescue dog. We've had him about five months now. So he's still adjusting to our family. I've got a feeling he was a tradies dog in the past. He loves being in the car, loves going out for walks. He gets a bit restless being inside. So I got a feeling that maybe he in his former life, that's what happened. But no, he's a good little fella. He has his moments. He's a stubborn little prick sometimes, but he's a good little dog. All right, sorry, Volley. Sorry, we've just seen the end of who was it? Sims. Kenneth. I'll spit that out. Kenneth Sims Jr. with a 5th round stoppage of Jonathan Romero. So it was stopped after the 5th round. They threw in the towel. G'day, Glenn. How are you, mate? Welcome to the show. I'm going to put $50 on the chook. Too many questions about Ortiz. What's the odds on it, Glenn? I'd like to know, because I'm with you there, even though I think more hoping, well, not hoping, but expecting maybe Ortiz to win based on previous results. But as I said before, certainly not confident about any of it. So that $50, mate, let me know what the odds are. I'll get around that. Ortiz looked like death the day before the weigh-in, but looked better before the weigh-in, but looked better on weigh-in day, yeah. Well, by the time he actually got on the scales there too, Double G, he would have probably had 3 hours or something, 3 or 4 hours to maybe rehydrate and maybe look a little bit better. It's amazing how a fighter, whether that be UFC or boxing, no matter what it is, can just come back to life. It really is. They could look like absolute death on the scales. Give them 2 or 3 hours of rehydrating, having something to eat, and you'd be amazed at how almost like a flower. It's not like they blossom. It's amazing. Sorry, guys. There's something to there. All right. I don't mean to be rude here, guys, eating on air live, but it's going to be probably another, 2 or 3 hours we'll be here, and I haven't eaten yet, so apologies if grosses are out a bit. All right. Bohachuk is a genuine test for Virgil and will show us where Virgil stacks up. If Virgil impresses, we'll show 100% KO stands for something. Mean Machine was best win so far. Yeah, look, it's... sorry, just before I answer that, all right, so we've got one more fight. Charles Conwell up against Chiari Geary next. Sorry, Chiari Gray. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. So Conwell 19-0, Gray 18-6. So I would expect Conwell to get the win there. But I would have thought they would add a little bit better undercard today. It's a big event over there in Vegas. But yeah, I'm with you there, Andy. It will be a legitimate test to see whether Virgil will stand up against the Tszyus and Crawfords and these types of guys. I agree. If you can't be impressive against Bohachuk, I'm not quite sure whether he's in the equation for those fights. I mean, he has got Oscar De La Hoya behind him, and you would think that would be enough to get him one of those fights. But I think he has to impress to have the boxing world really take him seriously. All right, what else we got? Wow, 330 for the win. I like it. Is it too late to get on? $50. That's good. All right, I missed that one. Double G. While Virgil's face looks like a killer, Bohachuk's eyes look like a certified psycho. He does a bit, doesn't he? He's definitely got the look about him. We actually met him in Vegas after he beat Mendoza, and he was a really, really nice guy. He was just in the crowd. I think it might have been before Tim and Fundora did the walkouts, and he was just sort of mingling around in the bottom there. A lot of people getting not autographs. Do people get autographs anymore? I don't think they do. It's just all about the selfies these days. Just showing Bacoli knocking out Jared Anderson there. Wow, that was a massive knockout or a knockdown. I like Bacoli. I like his style. Yeah, but he was actually a really nice guy. There was a few people waiting in line, so we didn't bother. But he was taking photos with his WBC belt, and it was actually good that night. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably would have seen it. The WBC rep in the crowd. This was at the Tszyu and Fundora fight. A couple of fights before they got in there. The WBC guy was just sitting in front of us, and he had the belt they were fighting for, and he was just passing it around the crowd. So I got a photo with it. He's like, "Hey boys, you want a photo with the belt?" And we're like, "Shit, yeah." So I was sitting next to Noonan Boy. If you haven't followed him, make sure you do. Noonan Boy Promotions and Australian Boxing Central he looks after as well. But I was sitting with him, and we had the WBC belt. And I reckon the WBC guy turned his back at one stage and was just doing whatever, and it was just getting passed around the crowd. So it could have easily gone missing. Though, I mean, it'd be pretty hard for a WBC belt, I suppose, to vanish. But, yeah, it was a beautiful belt. They really are a nice belt. All right, what else have we got there? Volley says, I'm hoping Bohachuk whips Ortiz's ass. Isn't Ortiz a Mexican, Volley? You're from Mexico. Going against your country, man. All right, there we go. We've got our first thumbs down. How many can we get today? Someone doesn't like me eating my breakfast on, well, it's almost lunchtime, isn't it? Eating on there. But yeah, that's the surprise. Volley, let me know why you're going for Bohachuk over your man Ortiz. I'd like to know. All right. I might be in the minority, but I liked what Madrimov did. If he opened up, Bud puts it on him and maybe stops him. I always thought Madrimov was Tim's biggest threat at 54 pre-Bud and still do. Yeah, no, it has some merit what you're saying there, Jules. The problem is, though, is that while Madrimov was effective in nullifying Crawford, the problem is he wasn't winning rounds. That's the difference. I'm with you there that Crawford probably made him look the most ordinary that he probably ever has. And that is a credit to Madrimov. But as I said, the problem was he just wasn't doing enough. And I know he was trying to make maybe Crawford punch first, and then he would close the gap and counter Bud. But he just gave away way too many rounds, in my opinion. And it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? Do you be reactive and run the risk of losing rounds but make it awkward for your opponent, or do you put it on them and try and win the round? So that's probably, I agree with what you're saying there, Jules. I just don't think he was busy enough at the same time. Even if he had a one, what are the first, say, 7 rounds, even if he had a 1-3, even two, well, probably 3 out of the 7, it would have given him a nice platform to come home with. I had him 5-1 down after 6. It's always going to be hard to come back from there. So I thought he finished out the fight well. I just don't think he did enough early. So that's why I had it 7 rounds to 5. All right. What are they promoting now? Mayweather and Gotti 3. Was there a Mayweather Gotti 1 and 2? Was there? I didn't know. Or was that Gotti the 3rd? I'm not watching that. You've got to buy it. You've got to buy Floyd Mayweather's exhibition. Are you kidding me? An exhibition and you have to buy it? I think actually you might have had to do it with Pacquiao the other week too, didn't you? And then Canelo Berlanga, September 14th. Now, contrary to what a lot of people are saying out there, I'm actually looking forward to the fight. Does Canelo win? Absolutely he does. I think he counters Berlanga all night and chops him down. But I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I think the lead-up's going to be entertaining. The fight will be entertaining. I think Canelo, I think the style of Berlanga will make Canelo dig in and really, punch with Berlanga. I think if you've noticed a lot of Canelo's fights recently, he just likes to go about his own pace, do his own thing, and his opponents let him do his own thing, by the way. I just don't think, and because of that, you don't see Canelo engage a lot. Because when he engages, his opponents tend to go a little bit passive and vice versa. I just think Berlanga, he's just going to come out and let it all hang out. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Is it the best fight for Canelo? Well, of course it's not. Of course it's not. But I just think it's going to be entertaining. And I don't mind the undercard. I've had a bit of a look at it. I know it's not probably pay-per-view worthy for a lot of people, but I don't mind Danny Garcia and Lara. Is it a massive fight? No, but I think it'll be entertaining as well. Romero is always entertaining. Who was the other one on the card? And Caleb Plant. I don't know anything about Trevor McCumbee, so I can't give a comment on that. But Caleb Plant, he's not the most exciting fighter in the world, but he's on the card. I'm in the minority, I know, but I don't mind it. Just like I didn't mind early in the year. I know the Tszyu Fundora card copped a lot, especially when it was Tszyu Thurman. But looking back, look at the fights had on that card. So you had Tszyu Fundora, Romero, Isaac Cruz. We had Lara Zarafa. We had Bohachuk and Mendoza. I mean, and there was another. I can't remember who it was. I'm a bit confused who he was on, but it was another world title fight anyway. That's a massive card. So I think we're just getting a little bit precious these days. I know money's money, but I don't know. I'm just happy to see the likes of Canelo in the ring, no matter who it is. And let's face it, all the best fighters over the years all have these type of in-between fights. Granted, they don't have a legitimate fight sitting there that they won't take. That's a bit different. But I remember sitting through, Chavez, maybe Tyson, Hagler. They've all gone through stages where they fought fighters that maybe weren't the most exciting fighters, but they were just there at the time and ranked highly enough, so they fought them. I don't mind. I just think, actually, beside the Benavides fight, and maybe to morale for that, in that same conversation as well, apart from maybe Billy, that Berlanga's probably the next best guy out there. I don't mind it. All right, so the next fight's in the ring. Charles Conwell and Chiari Gray. Conwell has some history with Tim, doesn't he? Okay, well, I don't know about that. Was supposed to be a sparring partner for Tim pre-Harrison and pulled out for some strange reasons. Flagged at the time as a future big fight. I don't remember that, Jules. No, I don't remember that. No, fill me in on that, mate. I don't remember, but quite possible for sure. Any thumbs down, donkeys, please drift off. You always get someone, Adam. There's always someone that's not happy that I'm not actually showing the fight. That's cool, whatever. When you're on YouTube, you got to have a thick skin. I've learnt that. A little bit precious in the early days, thinking, how could someone possibly give us a thumbs down or give us a negative comment? It's just all part and parcel of it. I think I'm actually pretty lucky that I don't actually get a lot of that because I know a lot do. Yep, so WBC's chant for 30 seconds. Awesome. Well, more like a minute, I'm going to say, Double G. I had that. I think Noonan Boy was pretty happy, well, pretty keen to get it off me, so he wanted a photo as well. But just a beautiful belt. It really is. And to think that, an hour or two later after that, it was being wrapped around Fundora's waist. It's a hard one. Actually, I had a better story there for you, Double G. We were there for Canelo and Triple G. We were there with the twins, the Maloney boys, and we're walking through the MGM Grand. And there was a guy there, I'm assuming he was a WBC rep, and he had the special belt they made. I can't remember, it had a name, whatever, but it was one of those marquee or novelty belts they make for these special fights, and it was the belt for Canelo and Triple G. And just walking through the MGM Grand, and someone was getting a photo with it, and we're like, what the? And the guy said, oh, you want a photo with it? What, shit, yeah. So we all got a photo with this commemorative belt that Canelo and Triple G fought for that weekend. So that was awesome. Hang on, I'll go back to that one. Oh, no, I knew you were going to say that. Haha, he's not Mexican. He's Hispanic. He's from Texas, but I'm just not a fan of his. He's an American boxer. I don't support American boxers except for Andy Ruiz Jr. Well, it's a good point there, Volley, and I suppose the Puerto Ricans have the same thing at the moment. There's a few of them that are a little bit bent out of shape because Edgar Berlanga has, proclaimed the heritage of Puerto Rico, and the promoters are hyping it up as Mexico, Puerto Rico. What did Oscar De La Hoya say? He reckons he's more Puerto Rican than what Berlanga is, and I did see somewhere that Berlanga doesn't know how to speak Spanish, but I have seen that in some instances in some of the things they've done, he has spoken a little bit of Spanish. I'm not sure. So I understand that, Volley, as far as the Mexican goes. I was just asking because I wasn't sure whether he was actually born in Mexico or he's a Mexican-American, so a Mexican heritage, but born in America. Jules. Yep, agree with you that Madrimov wasn't busy enough between a rock and a hard place, but thought it was a great chess match. It was, mate. It really was. And I don't know whether Crawford was shot or whatever, but you would have seen it. His punches are falling, a centimetre or an inch short most of the time, and he really struggled to get his range and rhythm. Now, was that due to Madrimov or the fact that Crawford's shot? I don't know. Now, in round number one here, by the way, guys, Conwell versus Gray. I'll keep you updated with that. All right, Glenn's not a fan. Seriously, nobody should watch the Canelo fight. You're just rewarding Duck of the 21st century. Yeah. No, I can't argue against that, Glenn. I think it's pretty obvious that he doesn't want a bar of David Benavidez. I don't disagree with his team not wanting to fight Benavidez. It's a business again. They will be looking at Benavidez saying this guy is he's massive. He'll come into the ring at 190, whatever it might be, even 200. I don't know. A big guy. So I don't blame them. But having said that, if you are the champion of a division, it doesn't matter who they are and what they weigh when they get in the ring. You have to fight them. It's as simple as that. And isn't it interesting that the WBC or Benavidez has been the mandatory challenger for how long now? A couple of years. And they won't strip Canelo. The IBF have just stripped Canelo because he won't fight William Skull, whoever that is. So work that one out. Rolly Pitbull's co-main. Yeah, it was Jules. Yep. Quick online search. Conwell was supposed to work with Tim in LA. Okay, in Vegas, pre-Harrison, and never turned up. He turned up in Sydney in Harrison's team. Well, there you go. I didn't know that, mate. Thanks for clarifying that. I was actually at the Tszyu Harrison fight. Great night of fights that was. So, all right, well, maybe there is a bit of beef there. All right. It's all fun and games. Thumbs down still adds to algorithm, apparently. Likely because drama sells and there's plenty of drama lovers out there. As I said, Andy, it is what it is. Hey, we've got another one. There we go. We're up to number 2. Let's see how many thumbs down we can get during the show. Don't do it if you're a regular, of course. Don't do it just because. You'll hurt the ego there. But yeah, as I said, mate, it is what it is. Just don't know why you'd go to the trouble of getting there and going, oh, there's no live stream. Okay, well, where's the thumbs down? There it is. And now I feel really good about myself. And now I can go on about my day, and I'm going to sleep even better tonight because I've given some YouTuber with 1,500 subscribers the thumbs down. So, all right, Volley, did you watch the press conference? It was crazy. No, I didn't, Volley. I didn't see that. This is the Bohachuk Ortiz one. I didn't think there was anything. Unless you're talking about Canelo and Berlanga, I saw that one. Now that was crazy, but I thought this one was pretty tame. I'm surprised though that VERGIL Ortiz didn't want to actually shake the hand of Bohachuk. I don't think Bohachuk's done anything that would warrant him not wanting to shake his hand, but I suppose whatever it takes to get you up for the fight. All right, so in the round number 2, Conwell and Gray. All right, there. All right, Damien. He definitely doesn't know how to speak Spanish. He learned a sentence and he just kept repeating it. There you go. He's an absolute dork. You watch him not come to fight and run. Yeah, well, that's on the cards. I'll be interested. That's a good point you make there, Damien. I'll be really interested to see whether, with all the talking, if he turns up and then just goes into his shell, which Canelo has the has a tendency of making fighters do. I mean, I've seen all the footage of him, some of his fights, and if you haven't seen him, make sure you check him out on YouTube. He's been tagged, he's been dropped. Not the most skilled fighter in the world, and that's probably my worry, that if he goes out and really tries to put it on Canelo is a real sharpshooter. Great timing. He can punch too, Canelo, even at 168. He's showing that. And his timing and everything is perfect. So if he wants to be reckless against Canelo, it could end very, very badly for Edgar Berlanga. But it'll still be entertaining, Damien. That's why I'm looking forward to it. All right. Just placed the bet. Actually paying $4.25. Wow. So over a $200 return. I like it. There's Kane. How are you, Kane? Welcome to the chat. Make sure you put any comments, questions, queries, anything you want to discuss, put it down there and we'll talk about it. We're in round number 2, by the way, of the co-main event. Charles Conwell, 19-0 against Chiari Gray, who is 18-6. So far, look, what are we? 2 minutes to go. Oh, sorry, 1 minute to go in round number 2. Nothing really happening at the moment. It's actually a pretty slow pace. A little bit of infighting, but neither guy looks overly fast or really putting much into the punch. It almost seems like a bit of a sparring session. Although there, just as I say that, there's a massive left hook to the body and down goes Gray. That was a big, big shot. I was just saying, geez, this is going to be over. All over in round number 2. This might be the shortest watch-along we've ever done, guys. I was just saying, geez, they look like they're almost sparring at the moment. And then, bang, a big left hook to the body, and this fight is over. And he's not happy with himself, and it is frustrating. He's pounding the canvas there because there's nothing you can do. When you get hit to the body, a good shot that is, you are paralyzed. You cannot move. So as much as he probably would have wanted to get up, his body's saying, no, mate, you need to stay down and breathe. All right, Anthony. Ortiz Sr. was going off like those other shameful father of fighters like Fury and Lopez. Yeah, I don't like to see it, Anthony. I've had a fair bit to say about the fathers of boxers. I just wish they'd stay out of it. You know, I think a lot of the problem is, Anthony, is a lot of these parents or fathers that get on there with the fighters are living their dreams through their sons or daughters, whatever it might be. They're living the dream through them, so they want to be up there. I mean, what was it, John Fury who actually almost pushed Tyson Fury out of the road to face off with Francis Ngannou. I mean, this is what we're getting at. And what are the other ones we've had? Robert Guerrero's dad, I remember him, of course. Teofimo Lopez's dad, Fury's dad. It's just embarrassing. It really is. Maybe we need to have some of those guys fighting off in some of these reality fights. Let's see how good they really are. All right, Andy. IBF generally honours Mandos more than WBC. Yeah, well, that's for real. Fighters paying sanctioning fees for rankings and lined up for a title shot. Lines have to move or pointless. IBF, WBC bows the highest. But yeah, I don't like it, Andy. I don't like the fact that money or even campaigning sometimes. You see a lot of the fighters and the teams will go over to a convention purely and solely to petition for a ranking. Now, what's that? Surely your petitioning should be done in the ring. But you get a lot of them go over there and they meet with the WBC, WBA, WBO, whatever it might be, IBF. And actually, well, that was a great shot to the body. No wonder he couldn't get up. That was right in the liver. No way he was going to get up from that. But even when you've got like when you've got rankings that are vacant, I'm still trying to get my head around how you can have a ranking that's vacant. If you've got 10 fighters that you want to rank, or 10 fighters are in your mix, well, one's 1, one's 2, one's 3. Why do we have rankings that are vacant? Are they waiting for a brown paper bag or something to arrive? I don't know. Well, I just can't make sense of it. But I'm with you there, Andy. I don't mind the IBF doing it, by the way. I think there should be more of it. Well, we've seen it with the WBC with Charlo at middleweight and also Canelo at super middleweight. And again, I've got no dramas if someone like Canelo says, not interested in fighting Benavides, he's not really, on my my run sheet. That's fine, but just give up the WBC belt. That's fine. I don't think anyone would really have a problem. Yeah, they'd probably still call you a ducker. But I think that's the frustration of a lot of people out there. Even his biggest fan, Paulie Malignaggi. If you watch the Pro Box TV, you'll see it. The president of the Canelo Alvarez fan club is Paulie Malignaggi, and he says it as well. Hey, if you don't want to fight him, that's cool. That's fine. Don't fight him. Just don't hold up the WBC belt in the meantime, and that's one thing I do agree with. So even though it would have been great for this next fight to be for the Undisputed, well, the IBF, credit to them. Although, wouldn't you have thought they would have waited for a better fighter to strip him for than William Skull? But how silly does the WBC feel now? They haven't stripped him for not fighting Benavides, and they're looking at the IBF stripping him for not fighting William Skull. All right, so I'm doing the interview now. So, we might have an early day by the looks of things. All right, boxing dads are a special type of crazy. They are. I see them even in the amateurs. It's like, hey, mate, it's good that you want your kid to be a superstar, but he's not Floyd Mayweather yet. Hey, just relax. Okay? Any dad that knows, g'day to you, Asbot. How are you, mate? Thanks for joining in the show. It's good. We're up to about 30. Oh, hey, someone's just taken the thumbs down back. So if that was you. Thank you very much. We're still at 1. All right. Any dad that knows the sport and wants his son to be a pro fighter is an idiot. Yeah, well, I'm one of them, Jack. I've always wanted my boys to at least do boxing, but not be a boxer, if that makes sense. And had a little bit of success with my oldest. He loves to put the gloves on and do some training. But my younger son could not give a toss about boxing and sticks to the basketball. I think I've said on here many times he's a Boston Celtics tragic. He'd rather be out there on the basketball court than punching on. But yeah, I wouldn't want them to do it, Jack. Wouldn't want him to be a pro fighter for anything. Tommy, how are you, Tommy? My coach had to ban a couple of kids from sparring because the dads were getting too heated, so now the kids don't get the rounds, and that is shocking, Tommy. Now, pretty much, if I was in that situation, I must admit, I would say, if I was the coach, I'd say to the dads, no, you can't be here when the kids are sparring. And most of the time, Tommy, I'm assuming that these two dads have probably never done boxing or been good at it anyway, but they're suddenly experts because their kids are doing it. Look, it just depends. I mean, I would kick those parents out of or those dads out of the gym. But even with myself, I've got, I said before, the little little fella I do some work with, little Charlie. I mean, his dad, Matt, I've known him since Charlie's age, probably 14 or 15. And what's good about Matt is that he's just a dad who loves his son and wants him to get the best out of him that he can. So he does what he's done with him has been fantastic, by the way. He's got good speed, good power, good kid of punch. He's done a fantastic job. I'm just there as to put a little bit of icing on top and give my opinion and whatever else. So what's good about someone like Matt is that he knows where he is in the game and realizes that there's people that can teach him a little bit more and add something to his son, and realizes he doesn't know everything. And his son's not the next Manny Pacquiao. Who knows, he might be, and that'd be great. But he just knows where he's at and welcomes input into making his son better. These two guys, by the sounds of things, probably think their kids are the next gold medalist for Australia and they're the next Angelo Dundees of the sport. I don't know. But either way, whether it's boxing, whether it's football, said all the time in football, I don't like it. But there's probably one way to do it. It's probably to sit them both down, even separately, in a nice, calm situation and say, mate, if you want to be in this gym, you got to calm it and let these kids, because the thing is that the kids would be horrified about it. They're the ones that would be feeling it the most. The kids, they'd be embarrassed, they'd be overwhelmed, not good. And I don't know how the dads would possibly think that this is in the best interests of their son, and what they're doing is good for the kids. I just don't get it. All right, almost finished here, guys, by the way, so I won't grocery out anymore soon. All right. Please keep Rosado on commentary. He's amazing. Tell Sergio Moron to stay home. I can't hear it at the moment there, Damien, but I'll see if I can sort of hear what's going on. But I saw last week, was it Porter? He got dragged across the coals, didn't he? No one really liked what he had to say, but I couldn't hear what he was saying. Okay, authorised seller. How are you, mate? Canelo, great fighter. Triple G 1 and 2, legendary fights. Triple G a little unlucky in the first fight. Yeah. Of course. Now that's Turkey LL Sheik without the gear on. There with Oscar De La Hoya. What's interesting? If you're not watching, they've actually put on. They've got Turkey LL Sheik being interviewed at the moment with Oscar. They've actually put on, when they put his name up, His Excellency Turkey LL Sheik. So even DAZN are down on the knees at the moment. And Oscar, let's see what he has to say. I can't really, again, hear it too much of it, but... Oh, Oscar. Come on, mate. Just, even Oscar's making me a little bit sick in my mouth at the moment. Anyway, yeah, Canelo, he's a great fighter, Julian. I thought the first fight, yeah, I'm with you. I had it a draw, but I don't see how Canelo won the first fight. I did have it a draw like the judges did, but I completely get how a lot of people thought Triple G won the fight. I must admit, I was judging it first as just a fan watching it, but also looking at it through the judges' eyes, thinking, okay, there's really close rounds here, or any doubt whatsoever, they're going to be backing Canelo. And that's why I scored it a draw. I thought the second fight, I thought Canelo won the second fight, and clearly he won the third fight. I'm just waiting to see what Turkey's saying here. I can't really understand him there. All right, so still talking. All right, I think what they're talking about is Ortiz, if he wins tonight, fighting Crawford next. Oh, I've got to turn this down. That's the reason we love Turkey, says Oscar, because he's putting the best fights together. Well, that's interesting. Turkey just said not interested in, as far as I could hear there, not interested in dealing with Tszyu now. He wants to talk with Golden Boy about Ortiz fighting for it. If you can actually hear this properly, guys, put it in the chat there, because it sounded like he said not interested in Tszyu. All right. Virgil is a respectful fighter, is it? Father using it as dramatic, but didn't appreciate the disrespect. Yep. Was really just trash talk to sell fight, but disrespect is disrespect unless father selling it too. Yep, good point there, Andy. Volley, I saw that Ortiz didn't shake Bohachuk's hand at the face-off. Yeah, that is correct, Volley. It's so cringy watching men act pretty petty like that. That's female behaviour. Yeah, well, what is female behaviour these days, Volley? You have to be careful there in this day and age. What is female? Is there such a thing as female behaviour anymore? Huh? Isn't it just, you can't sort of differentiate between the two? That's the world we live in these days. But I'm with it as far as the act goes, Volley. I didn't like it. Look, you're professional athletes. Shake hands and just get on with it. I just don't understand why he wouldn't do it. Anyway, remember Conwell was devastated when young fighter Patrick Day died as a result of the fight. Conwell looks like he has overcome that hesitation. Yeah, that's right. I remember that, Andy. Was that him? Was that Conwell? Well, he did knock him out with a body shot, though, didn't he? So, just I was saying they want to make the big fights. If Virgil wins, Crawford next. And Turkey Al Sheikh says yes. You got to remember too, guys, this is the other thing that gets forgotten a little bit. This is all about Turkey Al Sheikh and how great he is for the sport and what all the money he's putting. You got to remember, it's not his money. He's not part of the royal family. It's not his money. So they've just shaken hands on that. If Virgil Ortiz wins, it'll be Crawford next. Well, wouldn't you think that Terence Crawford will have something to say about that? But I suppose he'll do whatever Turkey Al Sheikh says. But isn't it funny or easy to spend someone else's money? If I had all that money too, I reckon I could make some pretty good matchups. All right, so into the main event. SERHII Bohachuk, Virgil Ortiz coming up next. So we've had Conwell over Gray, Sims Jr. over Romero, Fundora over Tszyu, and Iriarte over Ortiz. Now that, oh no, wrong, looking at the wrong fight. If Ortiz demolishes Bohachuk, safe to say he's got the division on notice. I'm predicting Bohachuk by decision, but thought to ask. Yeah, no, I'm with your Asbot. Depends. Look, who knows? It could be a disputed decision. It could be a really, really close decision. And I'm not stressed if it is an even 12-round decision or a knockout or whatever. Sorry, you didn't say a decision. It's division. Sorry, you said that. Sorry, demolishes Bohachuk. I just think it's the way he does it, Asbot. I think it's the way he goes about it. If he wins, if he demolishes him, well, that's great. If he wins a decision, no drama. I think we're just all interested to see how he actually looks at against a legitimate elite 154-pounder. That's what we're looking for. Now, I think he's going to have to look good to get the Crawford fight. I don't think Crawford's that stressed about fighting him. But if he does look really good today, well, obviously that helps sales and all the rest of it. Then it might even come down to how good Tszyu looks. So maybe Crawford will wait and see how Tim looks as well, and then maybe that might be the next fight. But I think looking at the interview just then, it does look like if Ortiz wins tonight, that will be the next fight for Terence Crawford. So, but that's okay, because don't forget, Tim, if he beats Martazaliov, then has the winner of whoever Fundora fights. So that would be the other half of the draw. So whether it's Spence, Jamel, whoever it might be. So not all is lost with the Crawford thing. I think it actually makes it build up to an even bigger fight. Let Ortiz, if he wins tonight, of course, fight Crawford. Tim, if he wins, fights, say, Fundora if he wins in the rematch. And then we get the two winners together. And then we have a super fight for all the marbles at 154. So, and I would probably rather that for Tim, thinking about it, that that would be better for me if Tim ends up fighting Crawford for all the belts, not just a couple of belts. So, all right, Double G. Sadly, every sport seems to have those dads, soccer, footy, you name it. They are there. Yep, they are. Yep. I see it all the time. I mean, even my son plays basketball, and there's always an expert in the crowd whose son's an absolute champion and whatever else. All right, Kane, when I was boxing, we had a young lad who became a state champ but stopped coming to the gym due to pressure from his dad. Yeah, that's just shit. That really is. The big turkey, Damien. Yep. Living your dreams through your kids aggressively like that is just plain terrible. Yeah, well, I must admit, when it came to my kid, I know everyone raises the kids differently, but I must admit, I've always been one of the parents that haven't forced the kids to really do anything. Strongly encourage them to play sport because I think it's good no matter what level you're at, just for a kid to play sport and just encourage them to whatever way they decide to go, to encourage them behind. And neither one of my kids are being that into like team sports. Both of them played soccer when they were younger and that sort of stuff. But now, my youngest plays basketball and my oldest loves to do the boxing and pump some weights and all that sort of stuff. Wants to become or get his own gym one day. So, in this instance here, yeah, and this is probably one of the things that was always on my mind. I don't want to be one of those dads who I know I wouldn't be, by the way, but I'm not sure I could actually be in an environment where there were dads on the other side, so in the team or competing against my kids. I'm not sure I'd be able to have the tolerance to be able to put up with a dad like that, because most of the time they're just little piss ants from probably bullied at school and whatever, or maybe been bullies at school. I don't know. But they're obviously not used to people standing up to them. I don't know. Or maybe they take it out on the kids. I don't know. But there's lots of reasons behind it. I'm just glad that I wasn't sort of subjected to it when with my kids. Just gave you a thumbs down for thinking the first fight was a draw. Thanks, Glenn. That's a bit harsh there, Glenn. I know you're only joking, but yeah. What is Turkey's problem with Tim? I don't know. But I said it in my little walking boxing the other day. Look, it'd be great for Tim to be aligned with him, but I don't think it's the be-all and end-all that he's with Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki Al-Sheikh seems to think that it's either him or nothing in this day and age. I don't see it that way. And I wish the other promoters probably saw it that way. I don't mind them actually working in with him, but this whole drool fest at the moment, I mean, that was pathetic, but from Oscar then, that really was. I saw Bob Arum there the other day. He shook his hand and nodded and all the best. That's great. But come on, Oscar. Especially after what you've said on social media about it in the past. So, okay. So Turkey just said not interested in Tim now. He can't understand Tim chasing the belt, not just bowing to the money. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I think Turki Al-Sheikh's obviously not used to people saying no, or maybe resisting his offers. I don't know. But either way, I'm not liking the body language and even some of the things that Turki Al-Sheikh's saying at the moment. The disrespect he showed Canelo, I don't get it. I don't like it. So what if Canelo doesn't want to go with him? He's his own man. Canelo hasn't said anything derogatory about Turki Al-Sheikh. He's really said nothing. He's responded to a few questions from journalists or whatever it might be, but he hasn't actually said anything derogatory about Turkey that I've seen. But in return, he's just said, I want to go about my business. But in return, Turki Al-Sheikh's saying all these bad things about him. So I know Canelo cops a lot of heat, but I just don't understand in this situation here. Watch they will return for Tim when Tim has the belt. Watch his space. If not, Tim can chase unification versus Fundora. Yep. And you got it, good point, because Fundora's with PBC. PBC at this stage aren't dealing with Turki Al-Sheikh, so why not? I don't think Tim would be too stressed about it. I don't think he'd be stressed about it at all. Get the IBF belt, and all of a sudden you're in play. You are in play. So if he gets that belt, all of a sudden, if he does fight Fundora or Spence or Charlo, whoever it might be on that other side, no doubt if the Canelo fight doesn't happen, Crawford's going to say, I want all the belts at 154, so just go get me. If it is Tim Tszyu, go get me Tim Tszyu. And Turki Al-Sheikh will do it. Just watching a few highlights of Ortiz at the moment. He's definitely an explosive puncher, isn't he? Some nice, but geez, he's faced some pretty average fighters. Yeah, some nice body shots there. Turkey's starting to be annoying now. Why wouldn't you want him? I just think it's one of those things, Travis, that I think he's showing his true colours, if you're asking me, because when he first came into the sport, everyone wanted a piece of Turkey. They all wanted the little piece of the pie. And I get that. I understand those fighters that might have been on the fringe or not getting opportunities or not getting paid properly. I understand it. That's awesome that they've gone there and done that. But at the start, it was all praise and everything to Turkey Al Sheikh. But now he's had Canelo just resist. Maybe Tszyu's team not falling over themselves to call him back for whatever he wants to do with him. And all of a sudden it's like, well, no. And now he's having some things to say about him. I just don't like it. Why don't he just say, well, that's their loss, not mine. I'm here if they want to pick up the phone. If not, I'll just continue to do what I'm doing. But what did he say the other day? He's the face of boxing. That's got to raise, in my opinion, major alarm bells. If you've got Turkey Al Sheikh saying he's the face of boxing, so what he's saying now is he's got full intentions of getting his claws right into the sport and having full control of the sport. Now, that might be good in theory, but what happens when he gets full control of the sport? Do we start seeing maybe not the same matchups, the same amount of money being spent? I don't know. Hey, it might be the best thing ever. Maybe when he's got full control, it's like you're fighting him and like it or not, that's the way it's going to go. I don't know. I've just seen, or we've all seen over history, you've got someone that has full control over something, it doesn't normally end well. So, and as I said, we're starting to get just the first glimpse of that now. The first person who said, nah, I'm cool, I don't really want to go with him, this is Canelo, and all of a sudden, Turkey Al Sheikh has ripped into him. So, Jack, yeah. He can fight, underrated. Well, we didn't see too much of him then. Jack, I think he sort of went through the motions a little bit there, but just that body shot was a ripper, wasn't it? Left hook to the body and down he went. So both boys in their change rooms warming up at the moment. Both guys looking ready to go, looking sharp. And I think the one thing that will maybe be in Ortiz's favour in this fight, by the way, is we haven't really touched on a lot. I know we've all spoken about the power, but it's the speed. Ortiz is a pretty fast guy, where Bohachuk is not a really fast guy. So that might be a factor as well. I suppose all will be revealed in about 15 minutes. Turkey's going to have to be... sorry, no, that's Andy. I appreciate Turkey and Saudi's dollars giving us some great fights like the heavyweight undisputed and up becoming light heavyweight undisputed. Yep. But Arabs need to lose the arrogance. It's the... what's that? The dollars. So the... Okay, pretty much saying don't be a prick about it. I agree, Andy. I agree. Yeah, I appreciate that we've got another player in the market and they're doing great things and they're investing in the sports. I think probably over-investing, if I'm being completely honest. I actually just see there Bohachuk's trainer is it Manny what's his name? We went to his gym with the twins back in 2017. It was in somewhere in California. Where the hell was it? Newark, yeah, Newark in LA. And it was a great gym. I remember Jason sparring with Michael Conlon and Andy was there as well. It was awesome. Great sparring. But yeah, as I said, mate, I'm with you there. I like what they've done and are doing and the fights they're bringing, but yeah, just be humble. Not everyone's going to want to go with you. So why not just say, well, it's their loss and move on? All right, Asbot. Okay, so His Excellency isn't interested in Tim. Funny, I thought it was about the fighters, not the promoters. Is this guy going to be any different from the current self-interested promoters we now have? Doesn't look like it, Asbot, does it? And as I just said, like it was all smiles and everything as he's been building his way up. But now that he's got his foot into in the door of boxing or in a stronghold on boxing, we've just seen the attitude changing. I think it is. So, I don't know. Probably, do we liken it to a little bit back here in Australia with the no limit thing? Isn't it funny that when they first came in, you didn't hear one bad word about no limit? And I think they've done great things for boxing here in Australia, by the way. But you didn't hear a bad word. And then they got the monopoly on the TV, and then all of a sudden, people's opinions just started to change. A lot of people didn't appreciate the fact that all the other promoters were locked out, and they didn't like that No Limit had this monopoly now. I never saw a problem with it, if I'm being honest. But and then all of a sudden, the tide started to turn, and we saw a lot of people starting to turn against No Limit. You know, Tim should get away from them now, and the fight cards are shit. And I've been very critical of the cards as well. Make no mistake about that. I'll call them out if need be. But overall, they've been really, really, very good. Are we going to see the same with Turki Al-Sheikh on a global scale, where people turn away because of this power and control? Fans, the boxing fans are a pretty fickle bunch. And at what stage they say, well, look, we don't appreciate you now pretty much ruling everything, especially if you're not getting the best fights consistently. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. G'day, Cyril. How are you, mate? Your winner is Ortiz. Yep, good stuff, mate. Jules, Nevada Commission giving Turkey an honorary Hall of Fame night in California was peak cringe. It was more than cringe, Jules. I did throw up my mouth a little bit when I watched it, to be honest. It was just... First of all, I was like, what's going on here? Because I couldn't really hear what was going on because I had the volume turned mostly down. Like, what's going on here? And I thought, excuse me, am I mistaken that he's never even put a show on in Nevada and he's been inducted in the Hall of Fame? It just doesn't make sense, mate. And then the WBC presentation, all that sort of stuff, it just is no good. All right. Love what Turkey's trying to do, but he needs to pull his head in a bit. Seems to be the common thread here, Kane. Where are we there? I'll just bring up some box rec there. See, yeah, so we're pretty much through all the events now, just waiting on the main event. All right, I'm just going to log in there. And we've got the football on soon too. I'm a little bit nervous today, the Blue Boys. Let's hope they can get the job done. All right, Julian, the Saudis seem to be able to organise fights. American promoters can be a nightmare. Well, that's one good thing. Look, I suppose in some respect there, though, Julian, is that the problem is the Saudis, because they've got more money to spend, of course, because they've got more money to spend, there's no real nightmare as far as getting the fights organised. How much do you want? Okay, then just pay it. The American promoters probably a lot more wheeling and dealing, and especially when you got guys like Bob Arum have been around a long, long time. But we'll see. We'll see. One thing I will say, you don't hear a lot of fighters badmouth what the Saudis are doing as far as their experiences go. They say they've all been looked after, they've all been well paid, they've all been active, they've all been well matched. So that's probably the main thing, I suppose, isn't it? All right, so the ring walk's about to commence. And as usual, there's a little bit of lag there. Let's hope that doesn't continue. I don't think it's hard to understand that some rich guy from Saudi Arabia is going to be an arrogant dickhead who hasn't heard the word no enough. Yeah, good call there, Jack. All right, so it looks like there's a Bohachuk coming in first. That's odd, seeing he's the champion. Let's see. Actually, it might be Ortiz. Turkey is like that rich kid that came to the poor neighborhood and expects all the kids to bow down for some lollies. Yeah, well, that's a really good analogy there, Andy. Well, Canelo is just another poor kid. Turkey expects everyone to bow to him. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you're looking at it that way, Andy, he's gone to the neighborhood, and Canelo's in a well-off family as well. He said, "No, I don't need your lollies. I got my own." And Turki Al-Sheikh is taken that personally. So, as I said, well, it's not that hard to say, well, all right, well, we move on. And Canelo, I don't mind the fact he's actually said, well, you want me, give me 200 million or 150, whatever it was, and I'll fight. Okay, if it's that important to you. And Turki Al-Sheikh, of course, is probably, spat his cornflakes all over his computer screen reading that. But All right, so Virgil Ortiz making his way into the ring. And wouldn't you know it, the stream is just, I know, it's better. It's coming good. Looks in pretty good, Nick, too, does Virgil Ortiz. Don't do this, come on. All right. Little by little, Turkey showing us who he really is. As time rolls on, his true colours slowly appear. Thinks money buys everyone and everything. Yep, 100% double G. I wonder if mix-up with Turkey and Tim is linked to Tim's withdrawal from the 3rd of August and jumping straight into IBF title fight in September. Could look sus. Yeah, maybe. That's a really good point there, Jules. Maybe the Team Tszyu hasn't spoken to Turkey Al Sheikh and said, look, we've been offered this fight. We want to take it or get us right back in the mix, and it might make the Ortiz fight bigger or the Crawford fight potentially bigger. And maybe they've said yes to this and haven't really kept Turkey Al Sheikh in the loop. Maybe that's probably why he said, well, they can do what they want. Again, I will say, if the biggest fight available is Tim Tszyu against either Ortiz or Crawford, you can probably rest assured that Turkey Al Sheikh will make the fight. Spew and agreed to go to the movies this afternoon with my family. Forgot this fight is on. Have to catch up later. Sorry about that, mate. Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Manny Robles. I thought that was him. So Bohachuk about to enter the ring. Canelo was built before Canelo came to town. Yes, most of us wanted Canelo Benavides. Yes, Canelo versus Bud would be interesting, but trying to force fights and with dollars arrogantly still disrespectful. Yep, couldn't have said it better myself, Andy. 100% agree. Remember, all the good fights aside, this is just the Saudi sports washing a pretty horrendous country. Yeah, it gets swept under the carpet a lot, doesn't it, Glenn? About everything going on over there. Seems to disappear when there's money at stake, doesn't it? It's crazy. Well, here's one for you, Glenn. The Sydney Swans, the AFL club here in Australia. They do the Pride round every year, the Pride game. So they have the rainbows and stuff on their jerseys or whatever they are, their socks and whatever their tops. And I think that's great. And whatever they do, that's fine. That's all right. They want to do that. That's cool. But their major sponsor is Qatar Airways, the major the major airline of that part of the world. And in that country, if you are gay, they'll chuck you off the building. So they're getting their agenda on one hand and getting paid from another. They're turning a blind eye to what's going on over there because they're getting the major sponsorship money from Qatar Airlines, and they represent the country that would literally throw gay people off a roof, and then they celebrate gay pride round, whatever it is. So it's money. It's funny when there's money involved, mate. That's for sure. And you're right about the sports washing. It definitely happens for sure. All right, so Mark Fratto, who I've never seen in my life, is the ring announcer. He's going to introduce both fighters. Ortiz is fast, so is Tim. Tell that to the Yanks. He's deceptively fast, Brendan, isn't he? Yeah, total cringe. Can you believe that this? It's working, but it's... Anyway, let's go. This should be lit while it lasts, like Virgil for me, but either way surely ends in a stoppage. Yeah, well, we'll see. Money is a root of all evil. 100% there, mate. Yep, the word is all about money. The world is all about money now, without exception, it seems. Is Bohachuk and Ortiz in the ring already? They are, mate. Introduction's about to happen there. Volley. Oh, hang on. Yeah, fair enough, Jeff. Either way, I just think it's pretty hypocritical from the Sydney Swans. And I think Qatar Airlines would probably fly to a lot of those countries anyway too, wouldn't they? That it does happen. All right, so ring announcements in progress. Judges being announced. Of course, they've got to give all the homage to the representatives at ringside. Make them feel important. Just got my eye on Foxtel at the moment here too, guys, because the football's on today. The Blues, it starts in about 30 minutes. All right. Go the Chook, says Glenn. It's go time. Okay, there's a new one. We've had showtime, now it's go time. Okay, and it's Bohachuk being introduced first as the defending champion. There you go. 24-0, 23 knockouts from Ukraine. Yeah, training out of LA. Reigning, defending, interim champion. Yeah, as Pop. Yep, as Robert Garcia's Ortiz's trainer. Great trainer, strikes me as a perfect combo for Ortiz. Yeah, it'll be interesting though, because Manny Robles is a very good trainer as well. But Garcia for me, the best at the moment in the world, Robert Garcia. So James, Ortiz too loose and look bad in this one. Okay. Oh, to lose. Okay, well there you go. We'll see. Virgil Ortiz, 21-0, 21 knockouts. Let's see if it does go that way where we have an early, well, not an early knockout, but a knockout. Volley agrees with James. This should be a great fight. No Saudi money involved. Let's hope both guys getting paid well. Yeah. The jab, yep. He's going to need to keep it in his face all night. All right, so the boys touch gloves. And we are set to go for round number 1. Let's see if we have fireworks to start. Maybe they'll be cautious. Who knows? But we'll see in about 5 seconds' time. All right, and there's the bell for round number 1. And Bohachuk goes on the offensive straight away with that jab. A nice, there's a couple of explosive punches from Ortiz to start the fight, but Bohachuk took them well on the gloves. Looks in really good nick, I've got to say, Ortiz. Lightning fast too. Jab to the body. Bohachuk misses the right hand and a left hook as well. So good head movement from Ortiz to start. Looks a little bit mechanical at the moment, Bohachuk. And Ortiz ripping and hooking. Good jab there from Ortiz as well. He looks in good nick at the moment, does Virgil Ortiz. So Bohachuk coming forward. Ortiz just happy to have a look, but same time throwing some good jabs and a left hook that just missed there as well. I can just spot it early. I'm thinking there's a nice little spot for that overhand right from Virgil Ortiz on Bohachuk. And Ortiz content just to be on the outside so far. He's little side steps and just letting Bohachuk come to him and throwing some good jabs. He looks very comfortable in there at the moment, does Ortiz. Oh, no knockdown there. Ortiz did go down. Referee wipes his gloves. Both guys really throwing some good jabs at the moment. Oh, nice body shot from Ortiz. Both guys throwing a lot of punches. Inside close now. Overhand right lands from Ortiz. 1 minute to go in round number 1. Both guys ripping and hooking in close. And Bohachuk probably throwing the more punches, but Ortiz looks a lot sharper. And Bohachuk backs to the ropes. There's no feeling out here, guys. Both guys ripping and hooking in close. Body shots, uppercuts, hooks. Head to head. Double hook to the body from Ortiz. Good shots there. 30 seconds to go in round number 1. Really close round, this one. And both guys just happy to meet in center ring and just tee off on each other. Good little uppercut in close by Ortiz. And now it's Ortiz starting to push Bohachuk back. Good right hand, left hook. Ortiz, let's see if we can go at this pace for the whole fight. He's definitely, it's definitely been a very active round from both guys. So, look, I was going to say, should I bother scoring it? But I suppose I better put it up there. Where are we? I'll just get my... I can get that out the road. So I'm going to give that round to Ortiz. Very, very close round, but I thought he had the more effective punches. All right. I'm going to have Bohachuk. What do we think there, guys? I thought that was an Ortiz round. And I'm going to put that up now. All right, so there we go. Put it up there. That's how I've got it at the moment. Yeah, it was a lit first round, mate. That's for sure. Bohachuk going to fade early. Yep. Yeah, I can see that, Tommy. Dropping the right hand. So it'll be a left hook or a right hand. I thought so too, Glenn. It looked like it volley, but they didn't rule it as a knockdown. All right, so round number 2. I gave that round to Ortiz, 10-9. All right, so both guys jabbing again. A little slower start to the round. That round, total punches. What do we got there? 20. That didn't make sense. I won't confuse you with that. All right, so it was a Ortiz hit the canvas there volley, but it was ruled not a knockdown, although it did, I thought, did look like a knockdown, but the referee didn't rule it. All right, so both guys still in close. Ortiz already looks to have slowed down a little bit, or both guys do actually, but still throwing lots of punches in close, head to head. And Ortiz hook to the head, hook to the body. Now in close, pushes Bohachuk back. I'm not sure these guys can keep up the pace for half the fight, let alone the whole fight. Uppercut from VERGIL Ortiz. Not sure whether he sort of slightly wobbled Bohachuk there. All right, good jabs from Ortiz landings. Definitely the more active fighter in round number 2. But Bohachuk still coming forward. I'm just not sure he's fast enough to, not at this stage of the fight anyway, to really land cleanly on Ortiz. Ortiz is just razor sharp at the moment. It's not stopping Bohachuk from throwing punches, no doubt about that. And as expected, we can't keep that pace up for the whole fight. But even in here, with a minute to go in round number 2, the pace has dropped a lot. So Bohachuk coming forward, Ortiz on the back foot, still throwing some nice jabs. All right, so we've got 30 seconds to go, round number 2. And I think Bohachuk's actually winning this round so far. Ortiz started the round well, but hasn't really done a lot since, although now he's starting to poke that jab out. He hasn't got that normal Ukrainian style, does he, Andy Bohachuk? He hasn't got that real amateur type of style. He's very much just plodding forward. He's throwing a lot of punches. And I thought Ortiz started the round well, but I think as the round's gone on, I think Bohachuk's really picked it up, throwing, I think just by work rate, I'm going to give that round to Bohachuk. Look, both rounds have been, well, I thought the first round was probably clearly to Ortiz, but I'm going to be nice and give that round to Bohachuk. All right, so is that Ortiz round for that one too? It was a close one, Asbot. I'm not sure. Very sharp. Lots of waste opportunities. Yeah, throw the uppercut. Bohachuk lacking precision that the Ukrainians normally show. Bohachuk hasn't got the footwork to get out of the range. Yeah, it was a really close round. Look, I don't know. I just probably gave it to Bohachuk just for his work rate. I don't think either fighter, to be honest, really landed that many really clean type of punches. I thought Ortiz started the round probably better, but I just thought Bohachuk, as the round went on, I thought did enough with work rate, but I'm probably just guessing a little bit there. All right, round number 3. There's my streams lags a little bit there. Come on. I've just lost. Where are we? Isn't that always the way? Let's refresh it, eh? See what we come up with. All right, I think we're back. Isn't this always the way? Oh, yeah, we're back. Hate that. Sorry about that, guys. I've missed the first half of the round. Apologies about that. Gonna have trouble scoring this round, I think. So both guys in close, ripping, hooking. I think Ortiz is getting the better of the exchanges, but there's a nice right hand and left uppercut from Ortiz. Good fight so far. Minute to go, round number 3. Right hand lands from Ortiz. Bohachuk, he's throwing a lot of punches, but there's not really any method to them. He's just throwing them for the sake of throwing them, and they're really being picked off easily by Ortiz, who's then coming back with some nice counters. Still being a little bit wild, I think, Ortiz, but Bohachuk's just standing right in front of him. So 30 seconds to go in round number 3. Oh, uppercut from Ortiz, straight up the middle. Bohachuk coming back, but he hasn't allowed Bohachuk to outwork him in this round like he did in, I think, in round number 2. So far, I think, yeah, good round from Ortiz. Looks on the way to winning round number 3. And look, every round probably could have gone to Ortiz. I'm probably just being nice for Bohachuk. I thought his work rate in round number 2 was okay. All right, so let's see, 28. All right, so 2 rounds to 1 for me for Virgil Ortiz. So Robert Garcia, his trainer, there's got his team up there. Mike Rodriguez, the cut man. Virgil Ortiz Sr. in the corner as well. And Hector Beltran is in there as well. It's been good so far, though. Like Virgil, the work rate has just been phenomenal from Virgil Ortiz, well, from both guys. But I like the fact that Ortiz hasn't really shown any sign of slowing down just yet. I mean, we're only 3 rounds in, of course, so 25% of the fight gone, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from the conditioning of Virgil Ortiz. All right, so we go into round number 4. And Bohachuk coming forward, jabbing. Virgil Ortiz on the back foot. And Ortiz, he's just, yeah, he looks really sharp at the moment. Let's see if he can do it for the whole 12 rounds. Bohachuk has really started fast this round, though, with the amount of punches he's throwing. Hasn't really landed anything yet. He's just sort of probing out that jab. But this is probably what Virgil Ortiz doesn't want to do, is be at range from that jab and just be eating that jab. He had success in those first 3 rounds by getting inside the jab and getting in close. I think he has to keep the fight at close range if he's going to win. So a pretty active round so far from Bohachuk. He's coming forward. He's throwing a lot of punches. Not really anything of note landing, though. Both boys in close now. You expect Ortiz to probably pick it up a little bit as the round goes on. We are 1:20 into round number 4. Both exchanging jabs at the moment. Busy round from Bohachuk so far. Ortiz content just to stand off and try and jab with Bohachuk, but nothing landed so far. Plenty of crowd support for Vergil Ortiz. There's a right hand lands from Bohachuk. He's not the most graceful fighter in the world, Bohachuk, but he just keeps coming at you and throwing punches. Hasn't got the grace of some of his Ukrainian contemporaries, but he just keeps coming forward throwing punches. I think he's winning this round so far. Yeah, both boys being durable, Andy. All right, 30 seconds to go in round number 4. And I think it's actually been an effective round from Bohachuk. What did you say there, Jules? Robles telling Bohachuk to uppercut first. Yeah, well, he's definitely landed a few uppercuts in this round. I think the difference has been is that Vergil Ortiz hasn't gotten in close to Bohachuk in this round. He's been at the distance from that jab. And I think Bohachuk's been quite effective in this round. There's a right hand lands from Ortiz, though. Well, that's a tough one. What do we think, guys? I'm going to give that round to Bohachuk. I don't know. I'm just guessing at the moment. I'm probably more focused on just the fight itself. It's been a good fight. All right. And they're advertising Canelo Berlanga, September 14th. Look, that scorecard's probably more like 3-1, but whatever. The way things are going, we probably won't have to worry about it. A little bit of a cut on Ortiz's nose. I think he has been marked up in the past on that nose as well. So, thanks, Tobby. You agreed that round? Yep. All right. He did land a nice right hand right at the end of the round, did Vergil Ortiz. I just don't think he worked hard enough during the round. And I thought Bohachuk was just the busier fighter. What's the referee doing here? Not sure what's happening here. Oh, hang on. Looks like the knockdown in round 1 has been scored as a knockdown. Or the one that wasn't scored has been reversed. Is that even a thing? 3 rounds later you can... Well, that really changes things, doesn't it? I'm not sure how that affects the scorecards, because that, in effect, does that become a 10? I gave the round to Ortiz. Okay. So, all right. I'm not quite sure if it 100% has been the case. I think it has. So does that will alter the scorecards after this round? Because that suddenly becomes pretty much a 10-8 round for Bohachuk. And does that change the complexities of the fight? Definitely puts Bohachuk up for me. And Bohachuk looks like he's grown in confidence after that decision. He's coming forward now, and Ortiz on the back foot, though he does rip in hard to the body. Double uppercut from Bohachuk was a good punch too. Hook to the head, hook to the body from Ortiz. And you get a feeling this might just ramp things up a little bit more. I agree there, James. Ortiz pinning Bohachuk on the ropes at the moment, hooking and ripping away, but Bohachuk doing a good job just to go with him. I mean, VERGIL Ortiz looks the far better fighter, technique and skill-wise, but Bohachuk, he's just a guy who just hangs in there. He's just an effective guy. Doesn't do anything particularly well, but does everything okay. Yeah, Andy, I don't know. Yeah, I've never seen that done 3 rounds later that they add a knockdown. Now we're going to have to alter our scorecards. And how does that work with the other scorecards? Does it give the judges an opportunity to rejudge the round? I don't know. Well, I'm sure we'll see. All right, so we've got a minute to go in round number 5. And you can see VERGIL Ortiz has really sensed the urgency now that he might be behind in this fight. And he's really starting to ramp it up. And Bohachuk, to his credit, though, is standing firm. As we see one of the first clinches in the fight. All right. Probably a better... just as my stream cuts out there. Don't you hate that? Come on. All right. So 20 seconds to go in round number 5. He's got to do something there, Asbot. He's been effective, but it's just maybe he just hasn't got it in his makeup to be able to do feints. But 10 seconds to go. Look, I think VERGIL Ortiz has won this round. I think his work rate's been really good. He's landed some good uppercuts and hooks in close. So I'm just going to have to see how this affects the fight. So let's just start again. So we've got, what are we, 5 rounds down. So that, I'm just trying to think how this works. So 3 rounds to 2 for Ortiz. So it'd be pretty much even then. So 40. Oh, it was a knockdown. So that would give him the round. So 38. So it'd be, I've got it 3-2. No, well, actually, no, I don't know what I've just been totally thrown here, guys. 3-2 for Ortiz, so it's pretty much even. Okay, so 3 rounds to 2, that would make it 47. So 47 apiece. Is that what happens? I don't know. That's what I'm going with anyway. I don't know. Is that Jules? Oh, geez. I don't know, Jules. He looked pretty good in the first 5 rounds, hasn't he, Ortiz? All right, so 30 seconds into round number 6. And Ortiz coming for you. Ortiz just looks a little, for the first time, a little bit gassed. Just a little bit. And Ortiz, Bohachuk the opposite. Looks like he's sensing maybe that Ortiz is starting to feel the pace a little bit and is now starting to be even more aggressive. Thanks, Julian. Yeah, even. Yep, I've got it 47-47. And this is why you can't compare amateurs to pros, guys, because this is where in the pros, talent will get you so far. Now it comes down to conditioning, strategy, heart, and those things you don't really have to rely on too much in the amateurs. It's all about ability and how fast you can fight for 3-minute rounds. And Ortiz just, as I said, looks a little gassed. Look at the scorecards. I've got it 47-47 there. Volley, that knockdown was scored for Bohachuk. Good question there, AP. Yeah, he has given up on the body attack, and that he's in. Look, he's still in close, but now he hasn't got that real speed and power that he had early with those head and body. Now he's looks just labouring just a little bit. And Bohachuk doesn't look any different now to what he looked in the first round. Coming forward, probing the jab, looking for the uppercuts in close. And we're starting to see Ortiz just gassed a little bit. I think it's a good round so far for Bohachuk. Again, just with work rate. Yeah, Glenn, I'm with you there, mate. This is where you've got a guy who's had 2 easy first-round knockouts in the last 2 years against a guy who's been active and who's fought a lot of rounds. So, although he does pick it up there a little bit, but his punches definitely don't have the pep that they did early in the fight. And Bohachuk is now starting to punch with Ortiz and I think getting the better. All right, so 10 seconds to go in round number 6, and I think it's a Bohachuk round. Close, but look, like last weekend's fight, just close. All right, so Ortiz had his moments in the fight in that round, but I'm going to go with Bohachuk by his work rate. So for me, I can't believe I'm saying it, actually puts Bohachuk in front. How do you guys have it? 3 rounds apiece, but the knockdown for Bohachuk. He's going to have to find something, Ortiz. I mean, what have we got? 6 rounds to go, so he's got plenty of time. Yeah, I'm with you there, Asbot. I think he's still, I think he's growing in confidence. So let's see if Ortiz can go with him. From what I can see at the moment, I don't think Ortiz or Bohachuk, for that matter, has got what it takes to get their opponents out of there. I think we're going to go to the scorecards, as funny as that might sound. Yeah, I'm with your Asbot. Yep, 57, what have I got it? 57-56 for me. And now can Ortiz dig deep? Yeah, I'm with you there, Jules. He can do it all night long, can't he? Square, okay, yep. Even with the knockdown, James. Yeah, I'm with you there, Anthony. He won't fade. Yep. And has Ortiz got enough in the tank now to get him out of there? 7 rounds in. And what's happening at the moment is Bohachuk is coming forward. You can see he's full of confidence. He's well into the fight now. He's got his rhythm, his range, his timing, all that have looked like they've he's hit the gas on those. And then Ortiz, on the other hand, now looks tired. His punches aren't having anywhere near the effect. Well, not that they had a lot of effect early on anyway, but there's not the speed and the power that he had earlier. And that's obviously going to be the case in a long fight. But I reckon Oscar De La Hoya at ringside at the moment might just be a little bit nervous about what's happening here. Because if Bohachuk keeps this pace up, I'm not sure whether Ortiz can go with him for the full 12 rounds. Yeah, good body shots there from Ortiz. First time he's sort of gone downstairs for a little bit. Close round, 1:20 to go in round number 7. I've got to say what I don't like on these telecasts. I don't like how they're interviewing cornermen during the round. These guys obviously don't know what's involved in a corner of a fight. You're looking at all different things. You don't want to be talking to an announcer, so I would say get rid of that. A minute to go in round number 7. Look, this is a really hard round to score. Ortiz has looked better, but Bohachuk just rock hard and solid. Nice little uppercut lands from Bohachuk there. He's going to be a handful for anyone, Bohachuk, I tell you. Yeah, I'm with you there, yeah, mate. With the going to be hard for Bohachuk to win on points. Yeah, so did I, James. But we've got 25 seconds to go in round number 7. And Bohachuk has not slowed down one bit. Look, I think it's been a good round for Ortiz, if I'm being honest, as far as the quality of punches land. I think Bohachuk has throwing a lot more, but I haven't really seen any real solid, effective punches in a really close round. I think I'm going to have to, and again, looking through the judge's eyes of the house fighter, I think I'm going to have to give that to Ortiz, which for me squares it up at 66 apiece. All right. There it is, 66-66. What's that, Liam? Going to the scorecards was $2.85 for the fight. Oh, no. Has been a really good fight there, mate. Really good. It's been a great fight. Now, this is where we see what Virgil Ortiz has got. You can see my scorecards there. I've got it dead even. I've got it 4-3 for Ortiz, but the knockdown there, and has he got the ability to pull it out? Because Bohachuk isn't going anywhere. You can just see that. Yeah, I'm with you there, Jules. All right, round number 8. This is amazing how quick these fights go. Now, the instructions to Bohachuk should be from here is to really up the pace. Really up it, because Ortiz would have to be thinking in the back of his mind at the moment, wow, I've gone 7 rounds. Have I got it in me to get this guy out of there? And more importantly, have I got the gas to stay in the fight? And Bohachuk, just the amount of punches he throws, just consistently. And you can tell that Ortiz is really starting to feel the pace of the volume of punches that... Left hook from Bohachuk, and Ortiz is down. No disputing that one. That is a knockdown. Wow, that was a solid left hook. Well, I would think at the moment, Oscar De La Hoya is having a heart attack at ringside. Now, Virgil Ortiz, this is the instance where I don't know why you would really try and pour it on, because he's lost around 10-8 really no matter what happens, unless he knocks Bohachuk down. I think, AP, I'm with you there, mate. I think he definitely looks gassed at the moment. That left hook definitely wobbled him. And what have we got? 4 rounds to go after this one. Ortiz, yeah, he's in all sorts, I think, as far as the positioning of this fight. Yeah, Robbie, I'm with you there, mate. He's teeing off, though, Ortiz. He's going for it. Big punches, but Bohachuk not to be denied. He will not be wobbled or pushed back. What a fight this has been so far. Big punches being thrown by both guys. And even though Ortiz really dug in there and threw a lot of punches, not a lot landing. So 40 seconds, round number 8, and Ortiz, you can sense he feels he's in a little bit of danger of losing his fight. He's had 2 knockdowns now, remember? So, look, it's an even round, except for the knockdown. And I think you've got to give it to Bohachuk so far. This is number 8 volley. And Bohachuk now coming forward. 10 seconds ago. Lands a right hand. Both guys exchanging punches. Ortiz bloodied. Gassed, but he's still in the fight. Big round. All right. Well, it's got to go to... You've got to score at 10-8 for Bohachuk. That's... Or is it? What do we think, guys? Oh, it was a good left hook. He did slip. It was a left hook that landed, but as he landed, he almost sort of did the split. It was a good shot. Yeah, no, I think it definitely rattled him. Oh, wow. Well, there you go. I've got 2 points for Bohachuk. But interesting with that round, though. If you gave the round to Ortiz, well, it becomes a 10-9 round, doesn't it? So, I don't know. I'll go by the rounds. We'll sort it out later, but that'll do for now. All right, so Ortiz now coming forward in round number 9. I'm with you there, Anthony. I think he's definitely going to maybe get reckless because he's really starting to turn it on. So percentages, 46% from Ortiz, only 29% from Bohachuk. So that's interesting. Throwing, that was that last round 8, sorry. So Ortiz landed a lot more punches, but Bohachuk landed the one that mattered. And Ortiz, look, to his credit, round number 9, he is really turning it on. Thanks, Julian. Yep. He definitely looks a bit ring rusty at the moment, doesn't he? But having said that, look, credit to him. He's pouring it on. Bohachuk now is the one that's covering up and maybe looking for a little bit of a spell. What a fight we've had. 9 rounds of just non-stop action. Yeah, I'm with you there, Volley. I'm thinking you just get the feel that at some stage Ortiz will come in and just get caught because he's being very reckless at the moment. Very reckless. He's just winging shots. No real defense coming in. If Bohachuk really just starts to pinpoint, I think he can land a shot that'll put Ortiz down again. But it's been a great fight so far. Ortiz winning this round, but purely just by work rate and effort. And Bohachuk looks like I know he's taken the round off a little bit there, but definitely has not been overly active in the round. This is going to be a really tough fight to score. Will the knockdowns be the difference? I hope it's not the difference because that'll be a major controversy after the fight, especially the one that was paid 3 rounds later. Nice right hand from Bohachuk lands. And Ortiz, yeah, he's now starting to clinch inside, definitely feeling the pace, and will Bohachuk now pick it up. All right, so we've got 40 seconds to go in round number 9. Right hand from Bohachuk lands again. 30 seconds to go. Look, I'd still have Ortiz just in front for the round, but Bohachuk has landed a couple of good right hands. And now Ortiz is going for it. Great fight so far. You're going to enjoy it, Volley. It's been an awesome fight. Bohachuk, right hand from Bohachuk. Oh, what a round that was. Look, I think it'd be unfair not to give it to to Ortiz in that round. Bohachuk definitely had his moments, but I just thought Ortiz, just by his pure work rate, you've got to give it to him. And will the allegiances be tested after this with the judges? This shouldn't be allegiances, obviously, but that's just the game. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe, all that sort of stuff, guys. I'm hoping we get over 1,500 after today. What have we got? 50, 60, 55 people watching at the moment, so... What's that? Oscar is paying the judges as the promoter. It's quite convoluted how these fights are scored. Well, normally I know here in Australia, mate, we pay the combat board, then they pay the judges. But all right, round number 10. Still anyone's fight, I think. And those knockdowns, well, they're going to play a major part. So what have I got it? Is that right? 5 rounds to 4? Yeah, 5 rounds to 4 for Ortiz, but Bohachuk in front. Thanks, Yusuf. I love it, mate. Thanks you for that. Yeah, I'm with you there, Jules. I think he can do it, but this is where we're going to see what Vergil Ortiz is made of. I've got a feeling he's going to be a round or 2 up his sleeve because of being the house fighter, but He's still got to pull it out because what is it? Round 10. We're a minute into round number 10. And again, nothing has changed. It's just in close. Both boys were that round 9, through round 9. So 338 for Bohachuk, landed 110. Oh, I didn't catch that, sorry. Yeah, AB, I agree, mate. And that's why he's the best in the business, if you ask me. All right, so halfway through round number 10. Anyone's round so far. Both boys in close, head-to-head, ripping, hooking. I tell you what, no matter what happens in this fight, both of these guys deserve another big payday after this. Wow. So, yeah, I'm not sure whether this is the right strategy from VERGIL Ortiz. He's on his toes now, moving left, moving right, trying the jab. Bohachuk, who's coming forward. You don't want to give it away around at this stage of the fight. I've got to agree there. I think, James, that Ortiz, I think, would be really dangerous for the first half of the fight against Tim, but I think Tim breaks him down as the fight goes on. I got a feeling that Tim would handle Bohachuk quite, I won't say easily, because how could you handle this guy easily, but I think his style would be custom-made for Tim. All right, not a bad round for Ortiz again in this one. Good jabs. Bohachuk still coming forward with 25 seconds to go in round number 10. Tough round to score. They actually hit each other's heads there. Tough round to score. Right hand lands from Ortiz. And I think that was a good right hand landed from Ortiz. I think he's done enough to win this round. All right, well, I'm going to give that round to VERGIL Ortiz. Thought he worked very hard and landed the better shots. And that, ladies and gentlemen, makes it all tied up for me after 10 rounds. There it is there, 94-94 a piece. As the Blues level things up at the MCG, 2-1-13 a piece. Didn't look good early for the Baggers, but they've come back okay. All right, so who wins the last 2 rounds, guys? You can see there, I've got a dead even, 94-94. This is anyone's fight. I've technically got Ortiz winning 6 rounds to 4, which I suppose is a little bit surprising, but those 2 knockdowns for me square it up. So I think it's anyone's fight as we go into round number 11. All right. Here we go. Be interesting to see how they see it on the telecast. They haven't put their scores up yet, so. And again, both guys, it's like it's a round 1 starting again. It's amazing when you've only got a couple of rounds to go, how all of a sudden you find that second or third wind. So Ortiz on the back foot, looking a lot more, or a lot fresher than what he did 2 or 3 rounds ago. But Bohachuk coming forward, just like he has the whole fight, throwing that jab, and then trying to set up that right hand that lands then. I think he's got to do a little bit more, Ortiz, than just keep jabbing. Because Bohachuk, he's doing everything. He's throwing right hands, he's throwing left hooks, he's doing everything. So a minute down in round number 11. Close first minute of the round. He hasn't got a lot of pop left in his punches, Ortiz, but he's still landing some good shots. Loads up the big right hand to the body. That hit him on the elbow. I think Ortiz just is having the better of this round so far. Yeah, I'm with you, Joseph. I'm not really stressed who wins it, but credit to both guys. Right hand lands from Bohachuk, and Ortiz comes back with a left hook. Has he hurt Bohachuk? Looks in a bit of trouble. And he's going for it. Uppercut lands from Ortiz. Over right hand lands. I'm not sure he knows how to hold on. Now, it's Ortiz with all the momentum. Bohachuk trying to fight back, but will not clinch, will not hold. Does he know how to? I'm not sure. He just refuses to do anything, even in close. He does not hold. This Bohachuk, if you know how to clinch, mate, this is the time. Good round from Ortiz. Big round from him. And I got a feeling here we might just be seeing Ortiz pulling this one out of the fire, even with 2 knockdowns. 30 seconds to go, round number 11. And now Ortiz looks spent. Good jab lands from Bohachuk. Right hand just grazes Ortiz. A right hand lands from Bohachuk. What a fight. I can't believe the fight we've had, and it looks like it's going to go the distance. Big punches being exchanged by both guys. What a round. Wow. Right, I'm going to give that round to Ortiz. I thought he worked extremely hard, landed the better shots. Actually I thought Bohachuk in a little bit of trouble there for a little bit. What do we got there? So I've got it 103, 104 for Virgil Ortiz. And you'll get the feeling that even if Bohachuk wins this round, he's going to be up against it, I think. Wow, what a fight. So there's my scorecard there. I've got it 103, 104. But look, I've got no confidence whatsoever in my scorecard. How you guys got it? Yeah, it has been an awesome fight, guys. Even. Okay, yep. So, yep. Not going to argue with that, Anthony. It's a very even fight. All right, round number 12. Here we go. And you got a sense that both guys know they need this round to win. So what has round 12 got in store? And as expected, both guys just start. Oh, Bohachuk wobbled there. I'm not sure if he was caught off balance or he was hit. But Ortiz is going for Bohachuk backing up. Is he hurt? He's poking out the jab. I'm not sure whether Ortiz has got enough in the tank to get Bohachuk out of there. These guys are tough. And Ortiz, all of a sudden, he does look the fresher fighter. And I can't believe I'm saying that from what we've seen in the middle rounds. But Ortiz has definitely found probably the third win. He takes a right hand from Bohachuk and another one. It's one thing to be going for it and throwing big bombs, but you also got to keep your hands up. And for one of the first times in the fight, we have a clinch. Wow. Both guys is letting it all hang out, leaving it in the ring. What a fight this has been. Some tape on the glove. Well, that's what we don't want to see. We're halfway through, and the time clock was still ticking there. So halfway through round number 12. And we've got a break in the action for the tape on the gloves. Does this mean the last half of the round is going to be even more explosive than what it would have been in the first place? They've had 20 seconds to recover. Both guys just going for it. Head to head. Body, head, uppercut, hooks, you name it. I don't think we're going to get the knockout now. We're more than halfway through round number 12. This is going to be a tough one. And Bohachuk continues just to step forward. Ortiz on the back foot, jabbing now. So we've got a minute to go, round number 12. Oh, right hand just missed on Bohachuk. What a fight this has been. Unbelievable fight. Under a minute to go. And Bohachuk is the one coming forward now. Ortiz lands on a right hand that backs Bohachuk to the ropes. What a round this has been. I think Bohachuk's probably landed the better punches, but Ortiz has been the one that's been more aggressive and throwing the bigger punches. But, wow. 30 seconds to go. Right hand lands from Bohachuk. I think he's landed the better shots in this round. He's looked wobbly at times and exhausted, but I think as far as his quality of punches goes, I think Bohachuk's landed the better punches. Ortiz has probably been the more busier. 10 to go. Wow, what a fight. And it's going to the scorecards. And that is it. And I'm calling it now. I think we have a draw, in my humble opinion. All right, that there is my unofficial scorecard, guys. I have it 113 apiece. Wow. 7 rounds to 5 for Ortiz. But with the knockdowns, I have it 113. I'm not going to argue either way. That is amazing. How do we have it, guys? Put it in the chat. Let's hear your thoughts. I've got it 113. Now, that is... sorry, Liam. 285 seething. Wow. Now, that is assuming that all 3 judges score all those knockdowns as they were. Now, the first knockdown is still a little bit of a mystery to me. What happens with the judges' scorecards? Does it automatically get... Does it have an opportunity to rescore the round? That just doesn't make sense to me. I've never seen that ever. In 40 years of following boxing, I've never seen that happen. 3 rounds later, and they score the fight or score a knockdown or overrule a knockdown call. I've never seen it ever. I didn't even think it was a thing. So I wonder what Tim Tszyu's thinking sitting at ringside at the moment. All right. There's my scorecard there, guys. 113. Joseph, I hope it's a draw. They both are Warriors. I agree. Yep, thanks, Robert. I was hoping I wasn't dreaming over here. Yep, draw. Bohachuk by a point or 2. Okay. I'm happy with the draw. I stopped scoring. It's a little bit that way, isn't it? Ortiz split. Not going to argue with that, mate. Oh, Captain, my captain. Great name there, mate. Virgil Ortiz is the promoter, Turkey's guy. He already had a 2-round advantage going into the fight. Again, can't argue with that one, Captain, because that is a reality of the sport we are in. Let's hear what they have to say when the scorecards are announced. All right, both guys very confident by the looks of things. Bohachuk with the Ukrainian flag draped around his shoulders. Either way, but no matter who wins this fight, full credit to both guys. Unbelievable fight. Will we get a rematch? My gut feel says that Ortiz wins a decision. That's just my gut feel. And that probably shows how long I've been following boxing for, because that gut feel shows you've seen it all before. But a close fight. I'm not going to begrudge either guy. If it's Ortiz, it's Ortiz. It is what it is. All right, so we're going to go to the scorecards. Here we go. $113 apiece. Oh, overruled. 114. 112 by 2 in favour of the winner, and the new Virgil Ortiz wins a majority decision. 114, 112 times 2 and 113, 113. So one judge agreed with me and had it 113, 113. The other 2 judges, 114, 112, which means they had it 8 rounds to 4 for Virgil Ortiz. Can you see Virgil Ortiz winning 8 rounds? I can't. No worries at all, mate. All my pleasure. Yeah. Well, are we going to see the same thing that we saw last week with Crawford and Madrimov? A lot of people upset the house fighter got the decision. I'm not sure. Look, I'm not going to argue with that at all. At all. You see my scorecard there. Look, if Bohachuk had got a majority decision, I would have applauded it, and I'm not going to argue with that either. I thought it was close enough. I'm not sure 8 rounds to 4 really cuts it. But, yeah, I think we all saw it coming, AP. I agree. Oscar doesn't take chances often. Normally he has everything lined up. So that Tim is thinking both guys give too many opportunities there. Oh, look, I'm not going to argue with that at all. I thought SERHII Bohachuk was fantastic. He will get another big fight. Make no mistake about it. Hold your head high. I think he looks like he's okay with it all. Thanks, Julian. All the best to you too, mate. But VERGIL Ortiz, look, he dug deep. He looked gone. He had 2 knockdowns against him. He looked gone as far as being gassed. But credit to him for digging in and getting the decision. But also SERHII Bohachuk. VERGIL Ortiz. Bohachuk, credit to him as well for, again, digging in. He looked gone at certain stages as well. And now it looks like we're going to get Crawford, VERGIL Ortiz. Again, though, Crawford's not going to want to fight for 12 months. VERGIL Ortiz has got to have a fight in between. So do we get Tim, VERGIL versus the winner of Tim and Murtazaliev, and then the winner of that gets Crawford? We'll see. What's that? 2 10-8 rounds. Yeah, I'm with you, Sam. Yep. Thanks, Foley. Yep, I'll be doing that on the 28th of August here in Australia. So, all right, guys, looks like that is it for today's telecast. I really appreciate you all joining me. It was a pleasure to bring it to you. If you couldn't see it, I hope I gave you some clarification on what was going on. But look, no arguments from here. As I said, I had it 113, but certainly not going to argue with VERGIL Ortiz getting the majority decision. So how'd you score it? Put it in the comments below, and we'll see you in another couple of weeks for Tim Tszyu, Koa Mazzuti. I'm not sure there's anything else on in the meantime, I don't think. But if there is, I'll post it anyway. But thanks again, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next time.